Welcome back to A Corporate Time. Our consumer reporters here.
Yes. If you wanted a consumer report segment, well, we're going to give you one because we are Orlando's strongest stream. We've adopted the term that should be used by most news stations and everybody. Now, there's no TV stations and radio cares about that. Streaming's where it's at. And this guy, he's no stranger to the streams.
Yep. So
he lets us stream all over him.
BDM Jason's here. How you doing, Jason?
Good to see you, Tom. Good to see you, Dan. Good to see everybody.
Good to see you as well, my friend. Happy holidays to you.
Thank you.
So, Jason, you've been with Sony. You've been on the show many times.
Many times.
We talk about Sony products, and now's the time of year where people are buying electronics for Christmas.
They are.
And I'm sure the companies plan to put out their newest, latest, and greatest stuff right before Christmas, right?
You know, you would think that, but with the pandemic and everything right now, it's I think it's, everybody for themselves. Like I hate to say that, but I'm speaking just personally from my own, opinion, my own experience or what have you. But being in the consumer electronics industry for 25 years, I'm not going to say unprecedented, but I've never seen anything like this. It's just everybody's trying to catch up with all of the loss that we've had in terms of inventory, in terms of product coming into the country. So, and that's an industry-wide thing for electronics. So if you want something really fancy and swoopy underneath the tree, I would encourage you to try to get your hands on that as soon as possible.
So real quick, just normally I don't do this, but in our Twitch chat room, we just got tipped out hugely by BDM Shiv. Thank you so much. We appreciate it.
Oh, really?
That. Yeah, throwing us some Christmas money.
Awesome.
We will be able to get your aunt the surgery. The surgery is on.
What do you say, big? How much is the tip? Because I can't.
5,000 blue diamonds.
Well, what does that mean?
No one knows. No one's ever been able to figure out the conversion rate. I thought I had
How
my
much
thumb
Shiba
on,
is that?
I had my thumb on purple diamonds at one time, but it's so irregular and
you gotta
caustic.
Translate it to Shiba, then translate it to USD.
Oh, it's $50. It's $50. That's a lot, dude. $50 just to sit here and talk. Consumer report.
Yeah.
Man.
I gotta check.
Do we have to give that to you?
I'm in the wrong line of work.
We have to give that to you, right?
No, don't give it to Jason. He's
That's
rich.
Jason's 50, I think. That's the way the show. Hold on a second. I'm virtually certain the way the show works now. Sam was explaining to me how the show works now, and I think that the listeners pay directly for what they want to hear. Follow me. They paid 2 weeks ago. They paid $100 for 2 weeks of no nerd jock. Now they got Jason in here. They like his bit. They're like, give us an extra consumer reports. Here's 50. That's how it works now, dude. This is the new way to broadcast. It's direct to consumer, and the money comes in now. Oh, here comes another 25. I got to take my shoes off. That's what they want me to do.
We can do live on live from my garage if you need to.
Okay, I like it.
I'm down.
So, Jason, what would you say like the most lack of supply in the product?
You were going to say rare, and then you said most lack of supply. Let's analyze that for a second. Why would you have rare on the tip of your tongue? What is the most thing that is difficult to not find in the world? Like, why would you go the hard way?
Because
rare is easy to say. Rare.
It felt weird saying rare when I was gonna say most in-demand product.
Which rare means. I mean, rare's good there.
Anyway,
I'm sorry. I'll leave you alone. Gung punches me in the face.
Yeah, I mean,
you know what I'm saying, Jason.
I do.
Just start talking.
So in terms of rarity, at least from my vantage point,
you gonna take that? See what he did there? He threw it right back in your face. Right back at you know what? This guy doesn't think you're a man.
Oh, wow.
This guy doesn't think you're a man.
I didn't have enough warm-up. I didn't have enough.
Okay, did I not go around the room and say, Jason, did you have enough warm-up? And then I asked you, Tom, did you have enough warm-up? And you're like, fine, I did. I think I did. I don't know anymore.
Yeah. Well, I thought you were like getting on with the show, so I just said what I thought you wanted to hear.
You know what? That's my fault. That's my fault.
I didn't have enough warm up. I didn't want to tell you because I didn't want to be like,
You never disappoint me. You never disappoint me.
Go back to what you were saying, Jason.
So, if you're looking for anything like audio or video related, I think audio is probably the most challenged product right now. Like, there are sound bars. There are like kind of like offbeat solutions out there, like weird amps that you can buy on Amazon, stuff like that.
I found a sound bar at Walmart that I've been dying to tell you about. Guess how much it cost?
$39.
No. $17.
Come on.
I swear to God,
don't
it's a
even
sound.
buy that
No, but they had
garbage.
a stack of them. I wasn't going to buy it, but it blew my mind that we live in a time where you can go to a store and buy a sound bar for $17. Something got to come out of it.
They're
right?
able to put something in a box and ship it from somewhere and be able to sell it to you for
Right.
$17 and make $1.
Yeah,
Right.
It's a big and
It's
putting
crazy to me.
Yeah.
I don't know what's inside that.
No,
but
me neither. It could be magic.
I imagine it's something complicated and tiny, and it took more than an hour to put together. I don't know.
Jason, I swear to God,
$17.
I had no intention of buying it. I think you know my electronic
I do.
buying patterns, and I'm right now. I'm kind of in a stall because, you know, like I have nice components and stuff that I like, but I am an old school like Walkman user, iPod user, and I want a freestanding MP3 device. I do not want to be listening to music off of my phone, and I don't want to be Bluetoothing it off of my phone.
Yeah.
I want a device that I can plug headphones into and listen to music. And you showed me a Sony device that will allow me to do that. So yeah, I mean, but back to the sound bar.
Sure.
I looked at it and I'm like, and I picked the box up. It was a heavy box. Something was in there. You know what I mean? Like it blows my mind that
It
you
could be that cheap. Yeah.
Yeah, that just doesn't seem.
Yeah, I mean, and that's really going to be your choice right now. It's either going to be really, really cheap, or skybox seats level expensive.
Right.
Like there's nothing in the middle. So, and it's not just like consumer audio or consumer video products. Try to go out and buy something on B&H Photo right now.
Sure.
Cameras, soundboards, anything production related all comes with a premium. So there's guys that have hit eBay, started their own little eBay store because, you know, they're in Hawaii. Like literally have a guy that bought, I don't know, thousands and thousands of dollars worth of inventory of all kinds of stuff. And now that's like his pop-up store on eBay, selling everything at a premium. And, you know, now he's making, you know, X on top, 1 or 2X on top of what it cost him to buy this stuff.
Let's
So,
talk
Gotcha.
about the dare I say the hottest item I've ever seen. You work directly or have direct knowledge of this product, the PS5.
it's unobtainium. It's a hard box to get your hands on.
I mean, you are literally seconds away from having the problem of having two boys that probably want one of these. It'll even happen to my daughter. I feel like it'll happen to, because these devices are just part of life for kids. I feel like now it's just like what they do.
Yeah.
How hard? I mean, what would you suggest to? And because I think we specialize in this, to the dads that have no idea what they're doing and they're trying to find that now, and they should have been doing this like 9 months ago.
Right. So if you're a panic dad with a couple of extra bucks,
That's
in your
our
pocket,
guy, right? Panic Dad who will throw money at it, even money he doesn't have, that will make his wife mad because he just, for once in his life, wants to be the goddamn hero. Yes, that was me talking.
Right. The buy it now button on the eBays of the world or whatever, of course, is going to be your
They should
shortest.
just put dad button on that.
Yeah, you messed up. Press here.
Yeah.
But in terms, like, I'll say how I bought my PlayStation 5.
Okay, perfect.
I'm not able to get it through the company store. Every piece of inventory is going out to the world.
You
right?
were doing this as Joe on the street.
Joe Average, exactly. I put an extension on my Google Chrome browser, a shopping thing that just gives you an RSS notification. Hey, when this PlayStation 5 comes in stock, send me a note.
Yeah, and that's not illegal or weird. That's something very simple that everybody can do.
Very simple. Yeah. Of course, if you have notifications on your phone and you're getting notifications at 2 and 3 and 4 o'clock in the morning, my wife starts to go like, who's texting you at 3 or 4 a.m.? I'm like, it's PlayStation. Look.
Yeah, that's a good warning. Yeah, nice that you did that. You could get shot by your wife if you...
Throw that out there, but honestly... I ended up buying my PlayStation from Sony through an RSS notification. So a black hole opened up over my house, and I went through it, and out the other side, I came with the PlayStation.
Also,
5.
that should make people feel better that you're not Big Daddy Sony working for Sony, and then they're just like, yeah, they're so easy for employees to get, but the general public, ha, 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 we laugh at their demand. It's not like that.
Yeah, I mean,
It's
I'll
not
say
like
this. Our employee store right now is like got tumbleweeds blowing around, and it's like got a bunch of like inexpensive electronics because we're trying to make sure that everybody gets a box under the tree.
All my
or whatever.
Microsoft guys are saying exactly the same thing too. It's just like, yeah, we're,
And I mean, again, I'm just speaking from my personal experience and opinion. I'm not a spokesperson for what Sony's up to or for PlayStation or anything like that. But I think in reality, you're either going to be paying a premium to get whatever it is you're looking for, or you need to be using the tools that are out there, like, you know, a browser widget, you know, whether it's, you know, I think it's the one that I have is like starts with it's a bear thing. I can't remember exactly. I'm sorry, I'm fritzing out on that.
Nah, you're good, man. It's
if you
funny
just
too.
Google, you know, Chrome browser extension for shopping, it'll come right up at the top.
Yeah, it's funny about that too is that like just being organized, I would say, like an element of this if you're trying to track down that hard to find like PlayStation 5. It's a lot of it is like Andrea's mom and her are good at that. You know, it's like setting an alarm to make sure you do, or if you do get that thing at 3 a.m. or if you know that they are going to come in stock at 3 a.m., you set the alarm for 2:30, you get up, you make your cup of coffee, you sit there at the computer. And the way to be a hero is to log in your Walmart account or whatever it is you know, that's a thing you got to do.
Yeah.
That's the new dad that used to, Dan R. Dennis, my dad. That is the equivalent. And I will do this for my daughter. I know you'll do it for Tommy and Max, of my dad driving down to Zayre's in Daytona Beach and parking before probably like 4:30. He went to the Krispy Kreme store right there. Everybody knows Krispy Kreme store, hot donuts flashing at Daytona Beach. My dad would have gone there, gotten 4 hot. Large coffee, then he would sit angry in the Zayre's parking lot, wait till they open, and then I can't imagine him doing this, but I'm sure he did. He'd run with a knee brace on to the counter to get a Game Boy for his son. You know what I mean? Like that it's no different. It's just we don't need to be as physically fit. You can sit at a computer and do it, so maybe that's better for some people.
So, Jayson, where are we going with televisions? Where's the technology going?
Big computers.
What you know? What are we going to see in like 5 years?
So, I mean, I'll say this: big screens are just going to continue to get bigger. Sony has a TV right now. It's a 100-inch TV, right? And 2 or 3, 4 years ago, that would have been $60,000, and people were like, you know, start running around in a circle like the world is ending. $60,000 for a TV. Like,
for the mega rich.
Right, exactly. But of course, that's trickled down now. So currently, we've got a 100-inch TV for $20,000. Again, still, you could have a couple of new used cars or motorcycles or whatever. But in terms of the scale of what that cost a couple of years ago to now, it's not the race to the bottom, but it's definitely a race to, you know, shall we say, a little bit more accessible in terms of screen size to dollars output. But in terms of technology, we're going to see OLED continue to be insane and just get better and better. And
I love warm hugs.
And there's
I'm sorry. I'm an idiot.
There's a new technology called micro LED that I've seen some preview of, and that's, I think, going to be what everybody's looking for the next couple of years.
What does that mean, micro LED?
So 2 different kinds of technology with TV. OLED is like a bunch of little tiny flashlights, and the pixels themselves self-illuminate, so the TV looks really black and beautiful. If you see an OLED TV, it's really thin, and it looks like you can kind of stick your hand in it.
The depth in that is nuts.
Right.
Yeah, if you saw it, you'd absolutely know it.
And then there's like LED TV, like which you have at home, which is like the light shines through the screen, and that's kind of how the picture happens.
More gray, right?
Right, but
like his hat. Like it looks a little more like his hat. It's not true black.
Right. So micro LED and OLED are sort of like the marriage of those two things together. So you've got emissive, like self-illuminating pixels, but you have the brightness of an LCD panel.
Does that let them keep the cost down on the OLED?
Well, OLED is definitely going to continue to get more and more affordable, but it's going to get better.
Yes.
So it's really going to be
like... It'll even out, right?
Yeah, it'll be like, do you want crazy black level and amazing picture quality and have it be really, really bright for a bright room? Or do you have like the dark light controlled space where you want it to be like a movie theater and you really want the black to be like, hey, if it's dark in this room, I don't want to be able to see the TV.
Yeah.
You know?
The one thing that I've noticed that, and you and I have obviously discussed that because I bought a Sony TV and everything, and it was the amount that the level of black in whether it be video game or movie or whatever, how it matters. And I never really thought about that until I started getting into TVs. And it doesn't matter as much for me, but I can see now if I were setting up like an entertainment room where I wanted to watch more movies, which I think Andrea kind of wants to like maybe try to like skew our living room to be more of a place where, because her and May are actually getting into watching a lot of movies and stuff. Like they watch like Babysitter's Club and these, you know.
I'm
stuff.
sorry.
Yeah, it's terrible, but it gives me the opportunity to go upstairs and play video games. Right? It's no big deal, you know. But yeah, they've been mentioning that, and you can definitely tell the difference in how true that black color is, and it really does matter, especially the space stuff.
If you're a sci-fi geek or if you're into anything space-based or horror-based or anything like that.
You don't want to watch Dune on something that's got some messed up, weird blacks there. You want it to look great.
So, Jayson, tell me if this. I was super high the other day, and I was thinking about this, and tell me if this is a correct, logical progression of technology. So, I'm sitting on the couch and I'm watching a football game on my phone, right? With my TV that's 70 inches off in front of me, right? And then my wife's like, "Why are you watching this on your phone?"
Dude, the screen on my iPhone is really good for watching stuff.
Ridiculous.
And the black colors are dialed in spot on great.
And it was a convenience thing just because I was sitting there. I didn't want to go turn on the TV, go to the. I just popped on because I wasn't watching the whole game. I just wanted to see the game for 5 minutes, and then I wasn't. So I was just like, just popping in. It was like we're not having a party where we're all together having an experience. I'm just popping in. And then I was thinking, I was like, man, phones are obviously getting better and better. And then I'm sure there'll be the technology to obviously you could screen mirror, but you could also, I'm sure, project in sometime in the future where you put some apparatus or your phone gets built in where you just set it up and it can project on any wall, an HD perfect
They've had models
image.
that do that.
They do. They have like rudimentary stuff. It's not as good as your TV, but I'm like, well, everything will eventually get better and better to the point where everybody will have a smartphone that can project whatever they're watching on any wall as long as it's white or whatever on any house. And then it's like, that would kind of render televisions obsolete where everybody just has a personal television. They can project any size on any wall in any house, which everybody has walls. So I was like, is that like feasible that where we'll get one day where everybody, it'll just all be phones basically?
Yeah, I mean there's a trend in technology. It's called convergence, and it's not just technology, it's everything. Where in the past you would have a separate camcorder, you'd have a separate telephone for your house, VCR, blah blah blah. Now all that stuff's in your pocket in a phone, right?
Yeah.
So you get to a point where everything is sort of converged into one box. And then you start to get the rebound effect. Well, hey, I can't have a social viewing experience on a 7-inch phone. I need to have a screen on the wall.
Those are the hipsters, though. They're like, I can't have my belt and my keychain and my dread hat all be the same. I need to piece them all out and have them be separate.
I think there's always going to be space for social viewing. Really, what the quote unquote television becomes, I think, is just going to be another app or that kind of situation. Again, just my opinion. I feel like everything's going to just become an app essentially, and depending on the platform that you're using, whether it's your wall is a television or it's a projector or something like that, it's really just going to be an extension of what's happening in your hand, which is basically what you're talking about, right?
I mean, I do it now. Like, for instance, I walked in this morning. I do a version of it, a rudimentary 2021 version of this now. Got out of my car. I was listening to the latest episode of Soul Brother Kevin's podcast, SBK Show. When I walked in, this computer, as I sat down, unlocked with my Apple Watch, knowing I was here, and then a little icon on the bottom popped up to ask me if I want to switch what I'm listening to these speakers. And I did, and I just tapped the button. I never stopped. It was SBK straight from my pocket to SBK straight on my iMac in literally 5 seconds, less.
And like
something like that, right?
Well, and SBK Fangus, I got to throw that out there.
Yeah,
right?
Inya, you got to say the other part. Inya, if you don't say that, he'll get mad.
Okay.
He's the guy.
Me and Daniel felt like dumb old men the other day.
Oh no, don't tell this. I don't see because it's happening to me.
Thinking
it's happening to me, and I'm in the game. So.
We were like, how does it work? And we were referencing the phones that unfold and the screen can basically it's a folded screen and it's like and it looks perfect.
I like hearing you try to explain.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, if I'm dying, I'm lying, I'm dying. It was a folded screen.
And then listen, my wife was saying the same thing. She's like, I saw it and I opened it in the store.
She saw it.
And she's like, I looked at it, it's like you see no line in the middle.
I want one so bad.
I mean, like
dude, I'm a sucker for that kind of stuff, and I want one so bad.
So that,
and I'd mess it up because I'd be fold.
Seemed like, all right, that's the beginning technology of basically a screen that you could just unfold into a 30-inch TV from your pocket.
Like a blanket. You just poof it up there.
And it would project from your phone.
Yeah, like
to
you
the
carry
screen.
it in the back of your SUV. Like my wife carries like a picnic blanket in case the kids want to I don't know, sit on the grass or something.
Maybe it's rolled up like a map or
like a yoga mat.
No,
don't do that. Those because I got one of those for making pizza dough, and you got to put tape on the corners to lay it flat. Nah, don't do that.
So is that technology, the screen technology, advancing fast?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not in the cell phone game because it kind of makes my head spin. Like, I get, I'm blessed. I haven't, I've been given new phones every year by the company that I work for. Yeah. So it's like, hey, here's a new phone. Oh, cool. Like that's sort of my level of it. But the bendable LED and the bendable OLED technology is definitely something that we're going to see come out of cell phones into your home, into decor, like lighting solutions. I mean, being able to do like ribbons of video as like a poster in your house, or like put an NFT on it, or like that kind of stuff. That's where I think that technology is going. I mean, you can take right now. There's a Pico projector you can buy for $100. Set it on your counter in your kitchen, and fire it up, and it's got surround sound, and it'll project like a 50-inch screen on any wall that you've got. What else? I mean,
and the image HD,
it's acceptable, right?
Yeah, it's fine. It's just fine. Is the thing? Is it like, you're not going to win any awards for it, but if you were like a budget techie, what a time to be alive! My God.
Yeah, but I say it all the time. Like for consumers out there, it's the best time ever.
My projector I bought for the Halloween display that I did. Now, granted, it's not the best. But dude, I think I spent $100 and with some Amazon credit. I think I spent $115. I said, why didn't I do this like 15 years ago or something? Like, it made me feel everything is so, like, there's some really neat stuff that's like extremely inexpensive right now.
Yeah.
And those projectors are mind blowing, And the one you're talking about has decent sound.
Right.
It's like everything you need. Like, you literally as a dad could buy this
for camping or something like that.
Who wouldn't be happy with this as a Christmas gift?
Yeah, I know you're talking about going camping with the boys and stuff like that. Like, honestly, we've done the campground thing with the sheet on the side of the car and all. Like, we've seen that, and then you see the guy pull up with the Prevost motor coach and like roll out the whole theater. It's like, okay, we're kind of having the same experience. This guy's got $500 in it, and this guy's got $50,000, but we're all kind of enjoying the same thing.
Yeah. So, the sheet I actually prefer. It's more fun because everybody can help set it up. It's not just push one button
and
it's not
even too bougie, right? Like, it's not like, oh, this is totally unobtainium. This is like, oh, I could do where did you get that on Amazon?
Save your money and spend that for your food that you're going to eat during the movie.
Yeah, exactly.
It's the greatest time ever in human history to be poor and have an experience like you're rich. You know what I'm saying, right? Like,
technology is the great equalizer in that perspective, because there's a level that is generally accepted out there, and really above that, you're just paying more to get a better experience. But you can still have again, the projector experience, surround sound, internet anywhere, movies in your pocket. Like, I've got a little movie server thing that's got.
It's crazy.
Everybody's got the same smartphone,
right?
You know what I'm saying? Like,
I bought a little 4K media hub off of Amazon. It was the one that I used for my Halloween display.
I think that's the same thing I have, where it'll stream like I can
anything.
Do.
It will literally like do what can't. It's impossible to not stream. Like, you can put it on any device. It's HDMI, Bluetooth. You name what you want it to do, it'll do it. Yeah, and it's about the size of, like, I don't know, like a can of mints or something,
Yep.
And you can put an SD, and so the SD, I mean, what size you want? Well, if it's SD based, you can make it as big as you want.
Yeah.
And it just runs automatically, and all is in the box is like a little can, like it looks like a little can of mints. That's the little server, and then a remote. That's it. I think it was like $60 or something. It's like literally the cheapest and most reliable thing. There's nothing in there even spinning or moving. It's all solid state just rolling.
Yep.
It's really neat.
Everything's going Bluetooth too, right? Even in obviously the surround sound, that's been a while that it's gone Bluetooth, but it seems like now basically it's all Bluetooth, and you buy the surround sound speakers and you can put them anywhere around your house, and
I really lack in that department.
And let's talk about like surround sound versus a very nice sound bar, because I purchased a nice sound bar, and it's really
they call you Tommy Soundbar.
One of the only things
heard that about you.
In technology that I have that's better than Daniel's.
He enjoys a good sound bar. This man knows his sound bars.
Yeah. Now maybe I've gotten a deal.
He always has to one up me when it comes to some sort of deal with you. It's almost like we're both fighting to be your best friend. And I'm his best friend.
Yeah. But I'm cheesy enough to ask for it, where Daniel doesn't want to be that guy.
Yeah.
Where he's asking for a deal or something.
He calls you Big Daddy Sony Pony. I don't know if you know that. He's like, Big Daddy Sony Pony.
Anyway, and I went from the Walmart. I think
you went for the $17 Walmart one that I saw.
No, well, probably the equivalent of like something I bought, 7 years ago.
Insignia.
It was $110, but it's probably the $17 one now. Right?
Is the Insignia Plus.
And then I got, what is it even called, Jason?
I think you got the HD SD 5000. I think.
SD 5000.
Yeah. You can look it up. It is nice.
Man, mine is not good.
And so it's got the sound bar that's got the speakers on the top that project the sound off the ceiling.
What?
So it gives you the surround sound feel, because the sound is now coming from the top of you.
You got bouncing sound?
I got bouncing sound, and then I got the subwoofer. Now,
you got the sub? Andrea will never let me pony.
A giant
She's
sub.
like, you can save your money for the sub.
It's 2 feet tall. It's a huge
I'm
brick.
2 feet tall.
And but I will tell you of something that it reminds me every day that I'm mentally ill, and I'll explain.
The soundbar does?
The soundbar.
Hey, Tom, you're mentally ill. Just a reminder from your friendly soundbar.
When I was setting it up, there was an option in the directions of, hey,
are you an idiot? Click yes. Because
the subwoofer is Bluetooth, right? Just going back to Bluetooth. So you can put it wherever you want. So I have it in an area, but it's also an area next to all my router and everything else. And it's set in the directions. It's like if it's next to a router and a bunch of electronics, it may get disrupted.
Oh.
And you're going to have to lock the Bluetooth signal in to the main sound bar, so that way it doesn't
how do you lock it
keep turning off. And then it gave me directions.
Oh, that's perfect. You got the directions.
And then I said, I want to hear it. And then that was, I don't know how many months ago.
Wait, you need to lock it in now, right? You want to hear it, so turn it on and lock it in.
I did not lock it in. And it works, but it constantly gets knocked off. And
whoa. Gets knocked. Why does it get knocked off?
Because it told me I have it next to my router, so...
but you're not locking it in.
I didn't lock it in. And
we'll lock it in.
That's why I'm mentally ill. Because
it's the time shift thing, right? It's the twice a year you're right. Or
yes, it is.
Oh, man, Jayson really listens.
And every time...
That's creepy that you know that. Oh, man, that's and that's not creepy. It's more embarrassing.
Every time me and my wife were laid on the couch, we watch TV, and
you
she
have to
turns
get
it
up
on,
and turn it off.
and then it's red, and she's like, "It's subwoofer's off again."
You
I'm like,
lock
"God,
it in, you idiot!"
And then and then I go and I turn it off and turn it back on, and I'm like, "Oh, I'll lock it in. I'm gonna do this tomorrow." And I've been saying that for, I don't know, 6 months. and I'm not joking. I say the same thing every single day of my life. That's why I'm mentally ill.
So and how long? When will you lock in? Or you not? Can you not? I feel like you're almost like a Hasidic Jew in this point, where you need me to drive over and lock it in. You go to like, I cannot lock it in. You know, like you're like, I can't do it. It's not part of my who I am. It's not part of my religion. But I can have you come over and lock it in. You want me to lock it in?
I just forget every day until we sit down at the end of the day. We're tired, and then I go
make a note right now. Make a mantra that this time tonight. When put it in your brain that when she says, "It's red again, you more," and then go, "Tonight it ends tonight," and then stand up.
I'm not that strong.
You are that strong. You are that strong.
I can't do it.
You can't do it. I know you can't.
But then I have to go and I find the manual, which I've already lost.
Oh, no, you can't do that.
But I have to go on YouTube.
They guessed that, by the way. The chat room said you punted it the first day you got it.
Yes, I did.
The chat room said you just pulled it out of the cardboard box. Yeah. Everything goes in the trash, and then you just start trying to plug everything into it.
Yeah.
He made it work. I can say this to the chat room. He made it work without any assistance. He actually was like, hey, it just worked. Like he was texting me.
Wait
through
a minute,
Facebook.
he texted you through Facebook. He's like, "Oh, stand by. I'm plugging it in." You needed him to stand by.
It's on TV, and I'm like, "Oh, it should just work." And he's like, and I sent me like I didn't get anything back.
Just work.
And then
wife's not here. Gotta go watch videos. Bye-bye.
And he came back. He's like, "Oh, I just turned it on and it just worked." And I was like, "Yes."
You were like,
I was happy for him.
I so wish Sam was here. Oh, I've never wished Sam was here more.
Yeah. It is bad, and I know
That's pretty bad.
It is bad. And then,
let me lock it in today. I'll drive with you home, and my only purpose is to walk into your house. I'll lock it in. I'll leave.
I mean,
That's it.
moving it away from the Wi-Fi stuff. I actually did talk to Crystal. I was like, just get it away from where the
she's just
router
like him.
is.
You can't talk to her.
But there's a
She's
wooden
ride or
turtle on
die.
the other side.
She's ride or die. Don't F with the turtles.
I have to move
Jason.
the wooden turtle,
Now
and
you've
it's
done
above
it,
a
Jason.
plant.
This guy's good as dead.
I feel
You're
like
not allowed in the house now because you insulted the turtles.
I feel like a car just missed me or something.
Save the turtles.
Dodge the bullet.
So let's talk about soundbar technology. Do I have one of the best things you could buy? Is there better than that? I mean,
There's in terms of what you can buy from, shall we say, like a big name brand sort of audio company.
Yeah.
You had the flagship piece. It's been replaced, of course, because every couple of years
you have the old stuff. You got to
replace. It's time to upgrade. Actually, Sony just came out with a new soundbar that's the replacement for yours. That is the only, I guess, real difference is it has what's called a horizontal beam tweeter. I know this will make Daniel excited.
Horizontal beam tweeter.
Yeah.
Right.
So with the speakers,
I'm a horizontal beam tripper.
speakers on the top like yours has, but it also has speakers on the side. So like in a living room setting
Side
or something
fills?
like that. Yep. So literally in one bar, you've got overhead, sidebar, and subwoofer all in like a stick.
Side fills are nice. Normally, if you were playing like in a band, when you're playing on stage, you'd get monitors in the front, but you'd never get the stuff on the sides.
yeah.
Side, it makes a huge difference to have it.
It definitely does.
It seems like they figured out how to do it all from the soundbar instead of the old school. Because I remember 20 years ago,
I like the wires everywhere.
The sound is coming from behind me. That was the thing.
I still like that. You want to know why? Because there's nothing quite like going down to your rich friend's dad's basement and you're sitting on it's got all kinds of orange juice all over it, sectional couch, and you're sitting on it, and there's just wires everywhere, and you got that one speaker that because you're running around there because you're trash children, and you rip those wires right out of the back. It's just those little pinchers where you stick the wires in.
Yeah.
Everybody had those
spring clips.
And then you would have dads that would have speakers everywhere, and the fancy dads were the ones that had them coming out of the ceiling so the kids couldn't rip the wires down.
But I don't even think sound is supposed to come from behind you. I don't think that gives you any advantage to the experience.
In current movie making, 360-degree audio is pretty much the end-all be-all.
Probably why Apple's doing that Atmos.
Totally,
push.
Atmos, 360 audio, all that stuff is
It's
super
fun.
huge right now. It's fun.
I think it's kitschy. I think it's like a gimmick, but I like it. But it's not something I'm going to use. I mean, but it's fun. I put it on my the Atmos Dolby sound, surround sound. I put it in my my AirPod Maxes for movies and stuff. And with Mandalorian,
yeah, awesome.
it is
right?
awesome. But that's really the only time I would use it.
Audio is the key differentiator between just a TV experience and like a cinematic experience. So whether it's a soundbar or traditional surround sound that's wired in, it's just different levels of performance like we were talking about before. Good enough versus I'm going to just go all out. And that's really the difference between a soundbar type product and wired in speakers like, hey, I'm going to have an AV receiver. I'm going to have these components and it's going to sound awesome. Or, you know what, I'm just going to stick this thing on the wall and I've got basically 80 to 90% of the same performance.
The chat room, I just have to say this, Brock is being very mean to you. If you want to be mean to us, twitch.tv/Tom
Probably lighten me up.
Brock said, no, you're fine. There's only one target today, sir. Brock says, I don't think sound is supposed to come from behind you. End quote. Tom Van, who wouldn't last 10 minutes in the jungle. I like that. Sound is not supposed to come from behind you. That's my personal space.
It's me and Brock Jungle Challenge. We will go to the jungle and we'll see who lasts longer.
The most dangerous game starring Tom Van and Brock.
Tom and one of our listeners, who's probably a fat guy sitting in the jungle for about an hour. Call in. Tom, are you out there? Yeah, I'm out there in the jungle with Brock. We're doing the Great Jungle Challenge. That's when I blow my brains out. I blow them right out. No, I do one trivia question first. I do one show trivia question, then blow my brains out.
So, Jayson, for the average dad that lives in your 3-2 in Florida, that's not rich, you make $68,000 a year. Your old lady, she's a teacher. She makes.
I thought he was a divorced dad. I thought he was a single dad.
No. You got some kids or whatever, and you want to build a home theater because that's been your dream since you watched.
Man, I just want to watch. The Expendables the way it should be watched.
You want to watch Avatar again?
Everybody who grew up in the '90s saw Cribs and saw every rich celebrity have a home theater, and then every time I go into a house,
Chris Kirkpatrick had one around here, and Tiffany told us about it.
That's
I went to his theater actually.
Did you?
When I was an integrator. Yeah, sorry. That's probably.
I didn't say nothing.
It's probably a Chatting with the Masters episode.
So, and it's always been that's what the rich have.
Yes.
And that was the sign that you're rich, right?
But you had to have the chairs. If you didn't know, I had a lot of friends whose dads had the big screen, but you're sitting on folding chairs, and I'm like, that's garbage. But I only had one friend. I won't say who it is. But I only had one friend in DeLand who was rich enough where his dad had a real, like all of the chairs were staggered. They were all the cushy chairs that like go up. So that's what you want.
So let's just say you have a regular like 10 by 12 room. You don't have anything crazy. You can't put stackable chairs, but you want to put, let's say 3 like lazy boys or like nice sitting chairs or just 2 or whatever. And then a nice theater system, but on a budget. How much would that cost? Like, let's say like a decent one that would have impressive sound and an impressive screen, like an experience.
Chairs and stuff all in, or just the electronic?
Just the electronic.
Chairs are going to be hard too. The furniture's hard as hell to
find.
But
let's say you get someone Craigslist. Like this,
a lazy boy and a PS5 are like, a PS5 might be easier to find right now. My God, man.
This is a dad on the budget. Can you do this for $2,000?
That would be tough. You could. I mean, you could definitely put together a package with a soundbar and a TV, and that would be the system.
Would you go TV or projector?
Well, projector requires usually like a screen. I mean, you could put it just right up on the wall. That's not exactly what I would do.
Put it on the orange peel, Tom. Right on the orange peel. Run it on the orange peel.
Okay, let's talk about that. Because if you were a DIY dad, you would just sand all that orange peel down smooth and then
paint, maybe.
And then paint it so that
texture it somehow.
So then
So if you wanted to work a little bit.
Yeah. I'm just saying, like you would cheap, or I'm sure just buying a screen and pinning it up there.
You would want the 2K. I would say, and you correct me, the 2K if that's your budget. And I like the fact that you're coming in with something hard to figure out. Throw that at the electronics, right? Let's not worry about chairs right now. Let's just go. Let's get you a good wall setup. So let's say we have 2K. What would you do?
If it was me, I would do as big a screen as I could afford. So probably like I mean, honestly, you can get a 75 or 85 inch TV now for like under $2,000. So that would be sort of like, how much screen can I get in this room? Because that's like in a theater environment. That's the thing that's
the money.
That's where it's all coming from, right?
Yeah.
Audio could be upgraded after that, but I would spend my money on a nice TV, get as much screen as I could get for that money, and then look at what my audio solutions are out there, whether it's secondhand or new or a $17 deal from Walmart.
That's kind of what I'm doing. So even with the TV I got from you is like, I'm gradually building it up. I'm gradually adding the sound I want. That's for next year, Andrea, and I want to add sound.
So when did you make the step into projector? Because I mean,
I think the breakover point there, I mean, I look at it like this. From the industry,
you scared him.
Sort of like ham and eggs.
Thanks a lot. It's like a real gooey, sticky today. I don't know. It sounds like Omnicron to me.
I didn't bring Megatron with me or anything.
Whatever.
Jason's coming from California. And he emailed me. He's like, I'm vaccinated. He's like all this stuff, and I'm like, you're coming to Florida.
You don't know what.
What do you think we care about it?
Did you know our state bird is the Omnicron?
I heard that. I think.
Did you hear DeSantis?
Yeah.
No one cares.
Yeah, he's good.
Yeah, the budget, I think, realistically, I mean, I would say a real honest range for being able to pull off a projector and surround sound with a screen and the whole bit. I think you can do it for between $5,000 and $10,000, and that could also include some furniture.
Yeah.
So just depending on the level that you're shopping.
It's like a pool then.
But the projector,
like a pool, right?
Projector and the screen would be the bulk of that. You could probably spend $5,000 on a projector and screen just like that.
Yeah, because here's something I've learned, and you tell me again if I'm wrong. I have buddies that have projectors. None of their projectors are like the ones that I bought. Like, they're all like really nice, installed by a pro.
Big boy.
Where they cut the hole, and there's a series of poles that come down that hold it at the exact height, and all the wires are tight. You know what I mean? Like mine is, I bought it. It came in a box. I set it in the bushes and projected some pumpkins on a wall.
That's what you pay. That's what you get when you pay the pros to do it.
Right.
You know, that's the channel. That's the industry I'm in. So I'm all about like, hey, it's easier to write a check and have somebody else to complain to than it is to like, oh, let me take my budget and try to like piecemeal it together and do it myself.
I agree.
And nobody's happy with the end result.
Yeah, especially if you don't have a ton of knowledge on that. Right. Yeah, I agree with you 100%.
Are we ever going to get to helmets or the VR stuff where that is somehow...
Every time we've talked to Jayson, you've ended with helmets. I like that.
You love VR. You're
He
all about
loves
it.
I'm just saying with the Oculus...
He's going to have to get it, right? I can't see a scenario where your sons don't want to sword fight like virtual creatures in the
Keep them away
the
from your
metaverse.
TV, man. Just put them in a separate
No,
room.
it's too far gone. And Maisie's got her own cell phone now. She's got a boyfriend and a job, 2 jobs.
I'll explain it like this, and I think they still have them where they have like silent raves where everybody puts on Bluetooth headphones or whatever. And it's like, well, it makes more sense instead of it like everybody listen, but it never caught on. It's just a gimmick, and no one seemed to like that more.
Stupid.
They do it in San Francisco. I haven't participated, but I've witnessed what that's all about.
I'm sorry if I insulted you.
No.
It's my favorite hobby, and I love it.
It sounds like a basketball game. It's just a bunch of shoes squeaking on the floor. I don't know. There's like memes or little gifs about it where like this is what this sounds like, and they're not wrong.
Well, because this leads me into going from a theater. It's like, all right, if you're going down where you're putting on some VR goggles, it's like it's a lot less work and less actual physical stuff. Go into a room or go into any room and just put on VR goggles and then have a theater experience, and you don't need a theater room. Do you know what I'm saying? Like
there are people rolling those out now. Yeah.
Are we going to get to that point where it's like, well, you don't need any stuff on anything. You just put the helmet on, and then you get that experience.
The biggest problem we were getting to that, and there were some places that were trying to. We're good. Actually, Orlando's a decent place for that. We get those weird things where, it's like because we're such a destination.
DX games.
Yeah, we get like a weird guy that comes in and he's like the leading VR dude, and he, has all those things. But you know what killed that was having the masses come in and use a set. And then having to clean that and put the virus, like people were like, nah, we're not doing that. No. Even the stupid glasses you'd wear at like Universal Studios to ride a ride, we were like, we can't do those anymore.
Well, basically, I'm saying is like instead of building a theater room, everybody's just eventually, I'm saying in the future, just gonna have helmets, VR helmets, and then you just put them on and you experience the entire movie with the helmet on.
Claustrophobic people probably would have a challenge with that. Like my wife, there's no way we should ever put anything like over
I like
her
to
head.
be able to look at my wife during a movie and see her not laugh at really funny things and go like, look at this idiot. I like that.
You don't understand.
Yeah. I don't want you to take this away from her. Like, she doesn't understand that reference.
I think it's
I'd be better with a different woman.
It's just a different experience, right? Like the VR helmet is a personal viewing experience. Again, you kind of go back to that phone versus, personal viewing versus social viewing.
Gotcha.
I want a VR helmet.
That's really the biggest difference.
I want a VR helmet where it has a Okay, so I'm wearing the helmet and it has a camera on my chest that sees everything just like my eyes. And I want you to have the same one, and we just see the world just one set. It's like a third party, not an unnecessary third party VR guy.
It's like driving using only your backup camera. That's what we all do
in 4-second bursts.
Like how about an in-front camera? I'll just look at the screen. I like screens. I just want to look at them 24 hours a day. I'll just drive looking at a screen on my dash. I won't look at the windshield.
I'll look at my phone.
Who needs a windshield? Just cover it up.
You need 2 phones like as eyeglasses, one over each eye.
That's good if you covered. I just got a chip in my windshield. If I get, and they don't give you the box of steaks anymore.
Yeah.
When you get the thing replaced, now they just come and do it because they bill it all through the insurance company. I want a front camera. Go ahead and cover up my windshield.
In fact, when I drive, I just want to hold my cell phone up, turn on the camera mode, just drive.
Yeah, put it in cinematic. I need some blur.
So, Jayson, how can people contact you, find more about, of course, like Sony home theaters?
Yeah, there's all kinds of, SonyPremiumHome.com is like our premium website, Sony.com, of course, if you're looking for professional stuff, Sony.com/pro. Obviously Sony's got their hands in every level and facet of production, from distribution, content creation, etc. So, if it's home theater stuff though specifically or home AV stuff, I would check out SonyPremiumHome.com. It's a great website. There's no buy it now button, but there's lots of information there.
Yeah, and Jayson's a BDM, so look him up on the BDM page.
Totally.
Jayson Savage, he is on the BDM page. If you got any, tech questions, he can answer them.
Real name. It's a real name.
It's a real name. It's the one I came with. Absolutely.
Pretty cool. Mine's sucks.
It wasn't cool in the 80s. I got, it's like, you get bullied at school. I got bullied for my name.
Really?
Okay.
For whatever reason, and this just shows me how I'm a dumb old man, is I think of was it Dan Savage, the old conservative talk show guy?
Oh, I get asked if I'm Mike Savage's cousin
or
Adam
Mike
Savage's.
Savage is a cool name.
It is a cool name.
There used to be this kid named, his last name was Wiener in school, and they just bullied him. That's where you bully him, right?
But his first name was Savage, so it's kind of cool. He's Savage Wiener.
And he screamed, "It's Wiener!" And then everyone laughing.
It's Wiener. It's always Wiener. You'll say I'm going to shoot this place up.
Whoa, bro. Oh, that was way before that.
Bro.
Yeah, none of us were worried about that. No one
You should have been. You should have been. You picked on Wiener too much. Next thing you know.
That's what happens. All right.
That's savage.
Bye-bye. Welcome back to A Corporate Time. So, it screws me up every time I don't do the standard.
You can do the standard. That's totally fine.
I'm not. No, but we can ask our better
guests.
than that.
We have John from the El Camino School here, and how should we introduce ourselves now? Standard Tom
we're
and Dan.
We're coming back from break, so
it's Tom and Dan.
See, I like what he's got a good voice too. Pump your mic up a little bit.
I don't even need to say it's Tom and Dan. They know it because they've been listening to the show.
They've been listening for the last 5 hours.
Right. Yeah. And the last for me is like last 20 years. You like 50 years. If you're here, you absolutely know who we are.
Maybe our listeners could just understand that we're old men radio, and we're just like introducing ourselves because it's like Kobe.
Well, you're in your own head, but it's not like Kobe. We are nothing like Kobe. You think for a second I would fly on that day? No way I would take a chance of doing that.
Every time Kobe comes out, they go, Kobe Bryant. No, we are here.
Yeah. I'm talking about Kobe beef. Oh, I had Wagyu last night from Moore's Family Farms, from Organic Meats. That's all my wife and I had for dinner, a T-bone steak. That's it.
I saw that picture of a gigantic T-bone steak.
Dude, it's humongous. It was Wagyu. I never had that, but Wagyu, whatever it is, the fatty Asian cow beef.
Yeah.
Holy bananas, dude. That's the greatest steak I've ever had. My wife made love to me after that steak. She was upset that we didn't have more steak.
You didn't have the meat sweats? I don't know.
You could cut it with a fork. It was like, and this is how I cooked it. 3 minutes aside in a cast iron skillet, right? Rosemary and butter, splash, splash, splash. Take it, let it sit for 3 more minutes, and that was it. Dinner's done. 9 minutes. There's your food. We ate. Oh my God, she was freaking out. Sorry, I didn't mean to.
So John,
crazy on the Wagyu.
Tell us about the event coming up December 11th.
El Camino School of Music Repair and Technology. We're located over outside of College Park on Lee and Edgewater area, 5066 Edgewater Drive. We're having a community open house. We just had our 2-year anniversary, so the lights are still on.
Man.
People that have been following us, we opened 5 months before the COVID hit, and so it's been a tough couple years to start a brand new business, such a unique business.
But I'm proud of you guys.
Didn't help you?
Yeah,
weird.
Yeah.
Weird.
Well, especially because all of our words, all of our slogans were in person, one-on-one.
Right, I know. I didn't want to say that.
You're like, we printed one-on-one on the banner.
So we're having a community open house.
Music so intimate, we'll cough in your face. It's like, no, what are we doing?
So we're having a community open house on December 11th from noon to 4. We're going to have Run Raquel live band performing. We're going to have activities for the kids. They have a bounce house out there. And really just an invitation to have the community come see what we're doing at our facility. Most of the events and the types of things that we do, the courses are geared towards hobbyists, people looking to deepen their understanding of their instrument or empower themselves through music. So we're giving them an opportunity to kind of have a fun pre-holiday free event. Come hang out, have some vendors, and eat some food, have some locals, and get everybody together to have a nice party and have them see the facility that we
check it out.
And check it out.
Cool.
Yeah.
That's the thing that I hear most from anybody that I know that's seen what you guys are doing there, is that it's something it has to be seen. You have to go there and you have to feel the energy of what a true community-based school, that's wrapped its arms around music can be. It doesn't have to be the stuffy, odd, strange, nervous, anxious deal. It can be a very, a very welcoming and very cool spot, and that's what you guys have tried to curate there, right?
Well, and I think that so many people also, when you talk about musicians or artists, there's people that are inclusive, and there's also people that, that you get a bad rap for being an elitist, or I'm not welcome there. I'm not part of this scene.
I'm not on that level.
Right. So for us, we want everybody to come. We have, 3-year-old students, and we have, senior citizen students, everybody in between.
Cool.
As we mentioned before we got on the air, the Scout Guitars is now located at our facility. So Nick Scout moved into the facility, and he has a custom guitar shop. Many people just haven't had a chance to even go see this type of thing.
Yeah. Type that in, Scout Guitars, and check that out. There's a lot to watch on Scout Guitars, too. If you just maybe that's your lane to get you to El Camino School. But, and that guy, he should be very proud of himself as well. I mean, what you guys are doing, is I don't know of anybody else doing it.
Well, and I found out from years of working in the arts and not-for-profit that, when an organization would close down, and I always would be there giving presentations, and people go, "Oh my God, this is closing down. How could this be closing down?" I go, "Well, that's great, but did you ever go there? Did you ever go to the Science Center? Did you ever go to this thing?" And they go, "I've never been there, but our community needs it." And that's, even though we are a for-profit and we are trying to do a thing, we started this with our own sweat equity. We, funded it ourselves. I'm the owner, and we have a very small team, Dakota and Ray, and our, small team that does this. And it can't stay in perpetuity if people don't come out and support. And so this is our way of inviting people, giving them some fun for their children and some experiences.
As you said that, Tom and I both were like, yes, it cannot stay in perpetuity. It absolutely cannot. And then we had no idea what you were saying, but we nodded. We nodded because we support. Even though we're dumb, we still support.
Well, it's like when you call up Duke Energy and you go,
he hates Duke Energy.
Or whatever. You call up your electrical company and they go, "Well, the bill's due," and you go, "Well, yeah, but I had all this creativity, and I wrote all these songs, and I had all this vibe last month." They go, "That's really great. That's really great, but the bill's still due on the 30th or the 1st."
People don't understand that.
No.
That we get the sort of the same thing here. It's like they don't understand that there is a business aspect, a money aspect, a commodity that's here that we have to there has to be an exchange, or this just doesn't continue. I put you guys in the same category as our good friends over at OCLS. The resources to find the schooling or the education you want are there. So if you want to become the guy that knows how to set up the sound in a room for a band, and you want to be in control of that, I have a very good friend of mine, Summer's son, I think he's falling in love with back of house. He's falling in love with light design. And he's a super brilliant kid, right? And his dad is amazing. We're Universal. I mean, the guy's Mr. Creativity, right? And their son is and you don't think of that, right? You don't think of that as a career path. But this kid is legitimate. He plays piano, so he's a musician as well. So you can see that there's a lot there. But he is falling in line with what are the correct lights for this particular play or this particular band. What's the correct lighting to set the mood so the performance is right?
Well, and that's what we, and you guys know, but that's why we opened the school too. I mean, the real career path that we have is our 12-week guitar technician program. We've plugged it on the show before.
Sure, yeah.
But, this is something where when I go and speak to high schools and I go talk to the kids and, and just out in the community, most people don't know that this career path even exists. And not only is it a very lucrative one, but right now, because let's say if we're going to say positives of the pandemic, tours went away. So we opened up a school to train touring guitar techs.
I know.
So that went away.
Yeah.
But then next thing you know, partnerships with Dean Guitars and Gold Tone and all these places that are Florida-based have world-class guitar manufacturers, and they're going, everybody's sitting home getting guitars. They're selling more guitars than ever before.
I know, right?
Oh, yeah.
And now
I tried to get my Martin. I waited until a pandemic to order my dream guitar. I've never wanted to spend this much money on acoustic, and I finally pulled the trigger.
Everybody did.
It was way more expensive, and it took me, a year to get my guitar? Or 6 months
We
extra?
all bought motors. We all bought bicycles and guitars.
And toilet paper.
But now that tours are coming back, you have to think that every band that didn't tour for multiple years now, they're all touring at the same time. So one of our friends, Max, he's a tour for A Day to Remember in Bad Religion.
Okay.
Well, if both those bands, before one would tour and the other would tour and you kind of jump between them. But now everybody, I think Judas Priest is doing their 50th anniversary 2 years late.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody's touring at the same
Everyone's
time.
out.
So there's more need for a touring guitar tech than ever before.
There you
but
go.
then at these manufacturers.
A business needs employees? Weird.
Well,
I've never heard that.
And also trained and skilled employees. So we do have a lot of classes that are for hobbyists. A couple weeks ago, we had a 2-day guitar building class. $500. You come in and you work with a master tech for 2 days, and you walk away with the guitar you built. You build a kit guitar, you learn a little bit about it. You're not going to walk away as a luthier, but you had an experience.
Your base is bigger, man.
And so you
got some knowledge.
But for the people that are maybe not college bound, or I think when we all were younger, college was probably the thing that everybody tried to do. Now trades are the thing. I mean, why would you go to spend 5 years at UCF or do this when I can go and I can take 3 months at a trade course or do something and hit the ground running? We help them with job placement. So for us, it's more about letting people know that the career path exists. And also, there's so much technology nowadays just to have something where it's tactile. You're putting your hands on something and you're learning something.
Agree.
And you're soldering and you're wiring. And, these are things of my child, and I'm sure like yours, might never get to experience. So to be able to build a tube amp.
The want is there, though. Out of all the things that May gets a hold of, and I'm sure it's different for everybody, but I see like crafting. She's really into crafting, and there is an absolute difference between she has the material on a table in front of her or it's virtual on her iPad. There is a want for her. It's still in there somehow, I believe. The crafting wins out almost all the time. Like
tangible,
if I gave her like guitar strings and she was helping one night put new strings on my guitar, that trumped iPad. Which, thank God it did, right? But yeah, so it's
and we always say anybody can go to a store and spend $500 or whatever to buy a guitar, but to have the experience of building your own. Now, everybody who comes into your house, if you're a dentist, it doesn't matter.
Cool.
But everybody's going to come in and you're going to go, look at that. This is something I built that, and you're going to be proud of that. And that's really more of the takeaway. Yes, keeping the lights on and helping people, but empowering somebody to go, look what I did. I'm proud of this. And be it a young child, the last course we had a 14-year-old kid there, and we had a guy in his 60s, and we had a youth pastor. And we had all kinds.
That's cool.
We had all kinds of different people there, and for them to have that kind of experience is really what we want. And if we can help a young kid, save a couple years of his life. We go to I went to Colonial High a few weeks ago to do a career fair, and she goes, "How much is your course?" I was like, "Well, it's 12 weeks for $7,000," and she goes, "That's really expensive." I go, in comparison to what? I mean, when you have the Full Sails and you have the major universities, and even I looked up to go to like a barber school. It's like 13, 14 grand to go to a barber school.
All of that stuff's expensive.
So I was $7 grand in comparison to what? I mean, I guess working at Walmart, but we want to get you out there and get you working,
sure,
so you can pay that off. You could put that money on a credit card, and within by the time the year's over and the no interest, you could have that thing half paid off.
You're done.
Where some of my bandmates, we graduated from UCF, and we've been graduated 20 years now, and
Tell me about it.
And he's still paying the loans.
I still have some. I still have some.
Yeah,
$90,000. Like one of my buddies got a master's degree.
It's insane.
I told him, I was like, "This will never work. This is a waste of money." And it's like somewhere near between him and his wife, like 6 figures of school debt. And I'm like, my God,
it's too much. From our Twitch chat room, twitch.tv/Tom and Dan Live. You've got, let's see, Jackal says, I honestly haven't heard of a guitar tech program like this before. And then we have a new person in the chat room, Legion of Geeks, who we've never seen before, because it says first time chat person. It says, this sounds amazing. This should be a thing everywhere. I agree.
Well, and one thing we are trying to do is go into the schools, and I have a big tour we're setting up in the first of the year to go to local high schools, but we even have a partnership with Howard Middle School. Howard Middle School has a kind of a performance art magnet program.
Cool.
230 kids a day take a guitar class in middle school learning to play guitar. Well, we're trying to get in there and make sure that every one of these kids takes our basic setup course.
Yes.
And that's our intro courses. And actually it's coming up, but we have it's a $100 course. You bring in your own guitar and we teach you how to set up your own guitar. But if I could have learned that at 12 while I'm learning to play guitar,
I still struggle with setting up my own guitar.
But let's be realistic. I mean, yes, I'm a musician, and I've been fairly successful in our band, the Bloody Jug Band, and we've had our little things there. But many people, just like trying to be a professional baseball player, there's a lot of people out there that play guitar and instruments. They will never be a rock star. They'll never be the Beatles. They'll never do these things. So to look at other types of jobs, I love music. I want to be around it. Wow, I can get paid 50 to 100 grand a year to go on tour.
Yeah. Travel
and be the guy, behind the guy, or be the gal behind whatever it is, and be the person that's keeping their guitars in tune.
It's a dream job for me. You know what you're describing is what I would have wanted to do had I not. Yeah, I like drum tech for Chad Smith, Red Hot Chili Peppers, 90s. I'm touring the world with the Chili Peppers, and my job is just to set up his gear and then stay there at the venue, eat food, and get diarrhea and wait for them to come back and perform, right? Sounds amazing.
John, let me ask you. So this may be a stupid question, but I'm ignorant to guitars or the technology of them. So is there a technology or a guitar out there, let's just say a electric guitar, that can self-tune, like literally have some sort of motor in the...
I've seen the ads for the...
And then it hears, like the guitar literally through the technology can tune itself as you play it.
A couple years ago, Gibson came out with basically a G-Force tuning system that tuned the guitar for you. But they found out, one of those things, they're mechanical now. So now these things are having issues. And many of the people that we knew that got them ended up getting them swapped back out for real tuners because the technology wasn't there. But when we talk about setting a guitar up, it's more than just tuning the guitar. So a lot of people realize that when I go to a retailer and I buy a guitar, it's not set up. I know that for specifically Dean and Goldtone, any guitar that goes out of their factory, if it comes from Indonesia or wherever, they have quality control guys that go through every instrument that goes out. But many people, it goes right from China right to the guitar store.
You're talking about good manufacturers that have quality instruments, have been doing it for a really long time.
But they pick this thing up and they go, God, this guitar sounds like crap.
Yeah.
And they go, is it me? No, it's not you. This thing is not set up properly, but it needs a little love. It needs somebody like a scout or a guitar tech.
Yeah, you need a guy to look at it.
Or somebody to look at it and make the intonation. Just set it up properly so you're set up for success. Because there's nothing to see. Be it a young... Playing guitar is tough. We have lots of lessons, piano and vocals and things. But,
sure.
But to set up to play a guitar is a tough thing. Everybody goes, I'm just going to learn to play guitar. You have to dedicate time to that. It's hard enough. Let's set it up. Let's set yourself up for success. Because if you're going, wow, this sounds like crap. I think it's me. You end up getting defeated and give up. Let's help them.
Yeah, I want to set you up for success.
Right.
Make sure that you. That's why getting the knowledge. It's like performing anything in science without really understanding why you're doing it. I hate that. I hate it when it's like you don't understand the process, but you're doing the alchemy penny lab where you're dipping the penny in the chemical and putting it in the flame of the Bunsen burner, but you don't understand the process at all.
Yeah.
You just know that it turns the penny gold.
At my house, we just did the volcano with the thing, and the volcano goes, My kid thought it was cool that the volcano was erupting. He didn't. They explained it. They explained it why it was going on, but they didn't really care. But we had one guy originally was going to teach the amp class, and he goes, I'm like, how are you going to teach this? He goes, well, I'm going to start out by talking about protons and electrons, and they're going to smash together. I'm like, you're going to lose everybody. This has got to be, it's got to be fun and also applicable. We get a little too heady here. They're all going to fall asleep on you.
Yeah. So Daniel, you were in a band, and I was asking John about this before we started the show. Do you think we'll get to a point, because one of the biggest pain in the asses, I imagine, being in a band is finding a practice space, right? That's been an age-old thing I've heard for years. And
we always just did storage units.
Yep. That's been a thing, but they're not the best, right? No one's excited about going to your
it's kind of
storage unit and practicing hot.
It's carpet, and then and then whatever the person that was there, because it's for us, I can't speak for all, but you're a professional. But for me, it was like half a hangout spot and half of a place where you'd actually practice.
Well, I had to build a music school to have a rehearsal space in the back, but we got used to the storage unit.
Right. And it also creates a problem where it's like, as a band, the more time you spend together in a small hot ass storage unit, the more you are apt to get into arguments.
That's what
you break up a band. If there's a hot storage unit, then people quit.
It's happening.
And so it's like if you were able to cut all that out, but still get the advantage of practice, it would be better, right?
Yeah.
So can technology and doing things virtually replicate that practice that you would get with, for instance, will there be a day where you could all be online and
Zoom into practice
and practice together with some headphones, real time with your instruments, and it be, we're not there yet, obviously. Like, there's a reason during the pandemic people were putting out these Zoom practice videos, but they had to basically play the song.
They do all their parts at different times, they film it. And
they're not doing it at the same time. No. There's delay and lag.
You know who I watched the most out of all of those was John Feldman.
Oh, really?
Of, what is it? I'm blanking on his name. He's a big producer now, Goldfinger. I was watching all of his videos, but they were weird.
So we found out even with the online, so for a while, we moved to online lessons. We still make that available, but nobody's really asking for them anymore, which is, I think, a good trend that we're coming back to being humans.
For sure.
But, I can't play and listen at the same time. And, and we had band practice last night, and we feel that being in a physical space and building that camaraderie helps. Now, but the one thing, Chris Short from Alpaca Ranch, he moved away recently, and that's where we recorded. Well, now we're doing it remotely. We're recording, at the school, and we're sending him the tracks. So it's a good thing that you can send tracks to the guy, and he can send it back. And so you can have a guy
Beats it up.
mix and master your album from wherever, around the world. But I think playing, I still like, even when we play very large stages, we actually still come closer together, because I don't want to be 35 feet away from you, or my wife is supposed to be 5 feet away and she's 30 feet away. You lose a little bit of that connectivity as a band. We are the type of band, and I can't speak for all bands, but we're the type of band that we want the audience to feel the camaraderie, but we want to have the energy too. And it's real hard for me to get the vibe off of you hearing it through the monitor or through the in-ears when you're right there, and let's jam. We're going to look at each other in the eyes, and we're going to jam.
Also, I feel like you guys, the style of music you play would lend itself more to camaraderie versus if you were like a band like, let's say, like a Tool or something, where it doesn't really matter. You know what I mean? Like where it's like a little more ominous or spooky or whatever you want to call it. But like you guys, I kind of want to like get there and have some fun.
But we want that too. So as much as we want the audience to, I don't want the audience to be 500 feet away either. I want them to. We did a fun show at right around Halloween. We played at Uncle Lou's, and it's usually not a place that we play just because the size of the place.
Awesome.
But we played with a band there, and the audience was from me to you, and it was so interesting. It was like we haven't done that in a very long time. But to have the audience within feet of us, the energy, even though there wasn't a ton of people there, the energy was crazy.
Yeah, so much better.
And so I don't know if we're ever going to get completely to the Zoom. Also, because we did a few of those live stream types of concerts and things during the pandemic, and there was no audience there to enjoy it, so we felt even a little bit more raw. We were playing our butts off, and doing it, but at the end of the song, you don't know. Like you said, playing Johnny's, I can at least read an audience, and I know if they're digging it, or I know if that guy in the back's falling asleep. But when I'm doing it online, all I can do is play my heart out and then go.
Yeah, there it is.
We clap for ourselves.
John, where's metal at right now? What is the state of metal?
Of rock and roll?
Not rock and roll. I mean,
just metal.
Metal.
You're going metal?
Yeah.
I did recently go to Earth Day Birthday.
How was that?
I went with Super Dave. It was one of the first.
Man, that guy's living the right life.
But
Super is the king of Orlando. He's the king. We got to get him back in here. King of Orlando.
Went to one of the first like live things, and then obviously a few weeks later, Rockville was happening, and I mean. Let's just say this. I'm not that guy. I'm not the metal guy. I was at Goodwill the other day dropping some stuff off, and this guy that came to get the attendant at Goodwill, he goes to me, and I get back in my Jeep, and he goes, "Metalhead?" And I was like, I thought no, that's everything I had. I don't know if he was asking for more. And he turns around, and he goes, "You're a metalhead, right?" Because I guess of my look.
Probably
and I'm going,
you're wearing the costume of a metalhead. I'm sorry, John.
And I didn't want to ruin the guy's thing. I go, I played the washboard in an Americana band. I didn't want to tell him that.
I assume
break his heart.
I assume the Hamburglar likes hamburgers.
Right. And so he was like, and then I go, I like metal. And he goes, yeah, and he gives me the thing. So I'm not the guy.
He just wanted to be your friend.
I will say that Earth Day Birthday.
You're calling me that guy, aren't you?
A lot of metal at Earth Day Birthday. I will say that for my sensibility, the audience liked it. It was a little, I guess we're getting older, because I thought it was a little loud and a little too, I guess at this age of my life, I'm into positivity a little bit more than I am into,
so I don't have as much angst.
It seems like a young man's game, right? Like it's a loud, aggressive. There was a metal band at the last time I took my boat out at Oasis at the pool, right?
Yes.
And when I'm putting a tarp of hot, no, it was like hardcore scream metal, and I was like, "Wow, that's aggressive for the Oasis pool bar at the
Super Dave presents Madball live at the Oasis."
And it's not to take anything away from those bands. It's just they were all very great performers, and they were putting on good shows. So I can't take anything away from that.
I don't think you're being negative at all, man. But it's just not your thing right now.
It's just not the thing. I want to be a little bit more. I'm listening to yacht rock on Sirius. You know what I mean? Like I'm in
a Stevie Wonder thing right now.
Yeah, I think
we
all
can't get
are.
out of it. Yeah.
Well, I was just curious to the general, is that
rock and roll is in a weird spot. I believe personally, as a rock and roll consumer, I think we're in a weird spot right now.
But also a lot of these artists, like I was just because now we got a new Sirius subscription, so we're listening to a bunch of stuff, and when Ed Sheeran's new track it's like a pop dance mix track. It's like dude, you were like with an acoustic Martin guitar.
Yeah,
and
it's weird.
And so I think that everybody seems to be trying to go this way of we're all going to be dance pop acts. And it's like, yeah, but do we all have, does Taylor Swift, is everybody that was an original artist doing this, do we all have to play to a dance, track?
Yeah.
No, you don't. And you made your whole career not having to do that, but now you sound like everything else. And I like bands that aren't following that mold. They're taking maybe a hard left turn. That's also why we're not as successful as Ed Sheeran or Taylor Swift.
Sure.
We took a hard left turn and started heading back the other way.
I find that I do this a lot in music, and you can tell me if you do, and maybe you do too, Tom. Like when I don't have something like current that's on my radar, like right now I kind of feel like there's a strange lull in the type of like, at least for rock and roll, like, but I like everything. So like right now I'm a lot more pop and hip hop, right? Or a lot more even classical music, because that's kind of, or jazz. I'm doing a lot of jazz right now. Rock and roll, I haven't really found anything that I like. So what I'm doing is I'm just going backwards, and I'm finding bands that I maybe haven't had enough time to give them,
or you never listen to Down the Torpedoes the whole way through.
Exactly.
You can go back, and that's why I do love the age that we're living in, because when I was a kid, as I'm sure with you,
it wasn't available.
If you didn't if you didn't have the CD, and I bought all punk CDs, and my friend bought all rap CDs, and you really only had money to buy whatever you were really into, and maybe you got Princess, you got something in the box there, but or your parents turned you on to something. But now my kid can ask Alexa to play anything, and it'll play it for him, and he gets really turned on to different stuff, and so that's cool.
Yeah, it is cool.
We have an infinite. I mean, it's like we said, the internet's a great delusion of entertainment, and everybody can listen to anything they want in any category, anything. It's like it's all available for free. So that to me makes it like where every band and every performer is going to have less of an audience and have more of a engaged audience, kind of like we've been talking about with podcasts.
Well, you'll still have to work on it, but yeah,
but it's like not where there's going to be this. And the pop stars, it seems like they've gravitated to doing more popular music, and they've just kind of like the business of, hey, let's make it universally liked, instead of, hey, I'm going to do something that I want to do as an artist.
Yeah.
And because it's the easier way to make money and to feed the corporation that you've built or whatever.
Well, and it's just like being a musician in Orlando. I mean, there's a lot of, we're very oversaturated here. There's a million things that anybody can do on a daily basis.
Yeah.
So going to see the Bloody Jug Band they might have had tickets to go see the Van Gogh exhibit thing, or they're going here, there's so many things to do. But when we go play in Punta Gorda or whatever, there's nothing else going on down there. So it's, people are gravitating things. So it's like, but when you come from a big city, and obviously a lot bigger cities than ours, there's so much to do with your time. Or, you know what, I'm just going to stay home and play video games, or watch this, or watch you guys on Twitch. I mean, like
infinite amount of entertainment.
You're right. So to go have those physical games, or you know what, and Stormy and I always say, because people ask us about going to live, going to see other bands. Well, I've got so many shows, and with the school, I'm so inundated with music all the time
in it, man.
that when I have a weekend off with the family, we go into the woods. I go to Tosahatchee and I go walk around the woods.
Turn the cell phones off.
The last thing I want to do, as much as I love our friends and I love our peers and these things, the last thing I want to do is go to a smoky dive bar and watch another band, when I would rather just be up there playing anyway.
Right.
But my one weekend off, it's like, how much radio do you guys listen to when you're not on the radio? I mean,
that's a good example, because I go music only, man. I don't do any of this.
And I listen to audiobooks. So for me, it's like, I love music and people turn me on to it, but I'm catching up on the Dune series, or I'm doing whatever, and I listen to audiobooks because
I have to force myself to listen to my friends' podcasts because I want to support them. So I schedule them in, but for the most part, I'm always music. Or what's an album that I did Stevie Wonder's "Songs in the Key of Life" is one that I posted about a couple nights ago, because I think it's like required listening in my house. You gotta have that one down. And then last night we did "What's Going On" by Marvin Gaye. We did that album. And I've never sat through the entire album. I know all the songs, or the hits at least, but I've never gone cover to cover. It was awesome.
So again, it's the El Camino School of Music. Their event December 11th from 12 to 4.
Drop by there, say hi, check it out. Get curious. You might end up in there.
Yeah.
And we've got something for everybody. We do music lessons. We do songwriting events. We have the guitar building and that kind of stuff. But if you don't want to put your hands on the guitar, we still do piano and vocal and a lot of different things for the community. Our mantra over there is the longer we keep the lights on, the more people we can help and the bigger impact we can have. And that's, thank God, 2 years in. We just hit our 2-year anniversary and we're still here talking to you with the lights on.
Yep. Awesome, John.
Well,
I appreciate
congrats,
it.
man. We certainly do appreciate it. Don't be a stranger. We'll do it again.
Yep.
And we got to take a break, right?
Yep. We'll be right back.
Welcome to another A Corporate Time with Tom and Dan. I'm Dan. It's the beginning of the show. I can say that.
I'm Tom.
It's the beginning of the show.
Now
can
you
say
know.
That. Now you know who we are. We're not going to say it again. I know what you're thinking. You guys are going to do about 20 minutes and blah, blah, blah. And then
hold
we're
on.
What?
Doesn't like Dan Stone say like it's a corporate time with Tom and Dan? But I guess we have to establish which one's which.
Do we?
Nah, I don't know.
We've never really talked about. On the line with us, zooming in from his palatial estate, is our very good friend. You know him and you love him. He is the 90s superstar known as Cadillac Pat. What's up, Pat?
How we doing, gang? What's going on?
Pat, before we get into the hard-hitting discussions that we're about to get into.
Did your fiance and or girlfriend, sorry if I overstepped my bounds, has she made you sell your Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles pinball machine yet?
No, I find her playing it by herself. I'll come home like from whatever, and she'll have it on. She's playing.
That's kind of hot, like her in lingerie banging out some Michelangelo. You know what I mean? I'm okay with this.
Yeah,
Pat.
I've seen the cartoons with April.
Yeah, she unzips that suit. There's a reason that's a zipper. It's because turtles only have 3 fingers. They can't do buttons.
Yeah, 3 mambo fingers.
Yeah, 3 mambo fingers. You can't. If you have 3 mambo radioactive turtle fingers, you cannot unbutton a newscaster's blouse. That's science. But you can work a
jumpsuit
zipper
or something, right?
It's a one piece. It's like a J-Lo jumper.
Yeah, it's like a
romper.
She's wearing the Kill Bill.
She's wearing the yellow Kill Bill.
I'll show you. It's right here.
Okay. Oh, your internet's breaking up. Hold on. Let me make sure.
You left the spot in your house.
Oh, wow. She got her Tita's out. No, we got you. Take it on in. Bring it on in. Zoom it on in on April. Keep going to April. No, would you run out of cord? Look at her. Oh, man.
Now there's Shredder. Who's the other?
Foot soldiers. The foot soldiers.
Oh, the foot soldiers.
Foot. Yeah. How did they spell foot? Was it F period O period O period T period, or was it F-U-T?
No, I have no idea.
I think it was straight up F-O-O-T, I think.
What did it stand for? Foot.
Oh yeah, it probably did stand for something. I don't know. I don't remember.
So,
but I've got all my other trash too.
No, don't call it trash. You're being too hard on yourself. But that is an expensive piece of furniture. I'll tell you right now. Tom and I ran the numbers. We ran the numbers on that thing, and I'm surprised you were able to pull that off. There's no way in hell Andrea would let me do that.
Pat, is that something that will appreciate over time? Like, is it actual investment where in 10 years it's going to be worth more than you bought it for?
I think so. Pinball machines are white hot right now, with all the arcades that are popping up everywhere, like the bar arcades there's 3 or 4 here in town, and every city seems to have one. So I think it will appreciate, and it's been completely redone. So it's like brand new now.
Does that hurt it though? I'm not trying to be this guy.
Yeah, I mean, I could see. It's like a car.
Yeah, exactly. Car. It's like my scooter. I got a 1959 Vespa VBA.
Yeah, you want original parts.
And I kind of left it alone and left the natural patina on it because it doesn't look the way I want it to look. It just looks more original. And do you still have all your Cadillacs? Do you keep those original?
Oh yeah. I mean, my caddies I like to keep original, but some stuff like the carburetor and the radiator, that stuff, I had to get brand new. I mean, my caddy is not worth really that much money on the aftermarket because of the year. It's worth a lot to me. And they say you don't buy an old car for money, you buy it for yourself. It's not like it's super valuable. So I like original as much as I can.
Well, we called you in here because we're becoming, a new year, right? We're about to kiss 2021 goodbye. We're going to ease into 2022. And when that happens, we need our best or heaviest hitters to come together, think tank, to help us brainstorm some good ideas.
Yeah.
Tom had a brilliant one before the show. He said, we need our own energy drink. Which no one's ever said that. No one's ever said that. And when you said that, I was like, this guy's a genius. This is why I'm going to follow you to hell, by the way.
Yeah. I know
this is why we're together. When you said that, I was like, this guy, he's an idea machine.
Tom and Dinergy.
Tom and I don't even get my name on it. I'm just Dinergy. We're just taking the D from your name and putting it on energy. It's called Tom and Dinergy. I actually like it. I like it.
Someone make that and then sell it and then give us some money for it.
Now, is it the traditional with the taurine in it, which I always heard? Now, I'm an old man that's been drinking energy drinks since, I think, probably late 90s. When Red Bull first came out, I was told by one of my middle school or maybe high school friends that they extract like some sort of chemical from a bull's balls, and then they shoot it into the Red Bull.
That's taurine.
Taurine,
like
and then you drink
balls.
it. It's like, it's supposed to be good for you because there's nothing more manly than a bull. So you got to drink bull ball juice, and then drink it, and they mix it with some caffeine. It really gets you amped up. It'll make you a better soccer player, Daniel.
Yeah. It'll make you stronger than 10 men. Like the cops try to shoot you, you won't
it's like
die.
legalized angel dust, but it's from a bull's balls. I'm like, okay, I'm in. Sign me up.
Yeah. Whatever. And the Tom and Dinergy.
Did you hear that too as a young man? Did you hear that it was from bull's balls?
I never heard that. I just remember thinking Mountain Dew with the yellow number 5 made your balls shrink. That's what I remember.
Is that true? Because mine are getting larger. It's not true. And I drink 5 a day. Mine are so big they're about to be detached from me.
I'm
sitting on them right now like a sultan.
So, Pat, what have you been up to?
Oh, my God. I just got off a cruise. Finally, cruising's back.
Oh, let's talk about that. Walk us through a 2021 post-pandemic. And we're coming out of it. I think everybody's good now, right?
I think that's what I heard.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's just say.
That's what Ronnie told me.
That is what Ronnie said. That is exactly what Ronnie said. So you go on a cruise. Is it just you? Is this a full tilt Cadillac rides again cruise, or is this Cadillac with his loving girlfriend?
Yeah.
And you're like you're running like maybe a 7 or 8.
No, she was definitely there. She was my partner in crime, and it was full tilt though. We ran that cruise to the ground. I mean, it was a good time.
I like that.
Now
you kissing the old ladies on the dance floor.
Yeah, you realize only an old man says full tilt, right? Which I think was an old energy drink, right?
You've got to try full tilt, the 90s best energy drink.
Because I say this all the time when we talk about like a partying, right? Like
you can't even say the word partying anymore.
Every party I go to is just me standing, drinking beer, talking to someone from the wall.
Well, then, should my balcony, should my garage, those are parties?
Like, even the Tom and Dan cruise, like, where people were afraid to go on it, literally we used to hear, like, I don't want to.
They'll throw the furniture off.
They're like, oh, it's too much for me. Like, people would say that. Like,
I don't want to be held down and BF'd.
Yeah,
that doesn't happen, man. That's not what we do.
But like everybody likes to drink and have fun, but it's all just us by the pool.
It's very mellow,
drinking and talking. Now we're getting.
My daughter goes on Tom and Dan cruises. My daughter has been on 2 Tom and Dan cruises. It's fine.
But that's what I'm saying.
Wow.
So when you go full tilt, Pat, what does that mean? Like you're just standing around and drinking.
I think it means what it means for you, sir, and both of you guys are. Extreme. This is not a diss. So I see what you're doing. You're looking down. You're getting nervous. This is not a diss. You and Pat, when the party goes full tilt, dare I say the clothing comes off. Right? I'm putting it nicely. But you have a tendency to pull your muscles out, right, Pat? You pull the muscles out.
Yeah, I'm not like a douche bro. Like, I'm not like Petrozelli. I'm not quite that level.
Oh, get him.
You know what I mean? Like, but
get him.
I'm not really. I don't like to flash like that. I mean, I like to flash with my clothing and the way I look, but like not taking my clothes off like at the nightclub.
So you're more like The Weeknd, less like The Rock. Like The Rock likes to show his girth, his size. That guy is obsessed with showing us his thighs, right? Look at his Instagram. That's like that's no different than Carrot Top wearing the tiny shorts. It's something that those guys get off on the fact that when you go to their Instagram, you see The Rock's greasy thighs barely being held together by his Tom and Dan Villain Surf Company shorts, tiny little shorts.
He works hard for that.
He does.
Show it off.
He does.
So you don't show off your body, huh?
Yeah, I don't really have that part of ego. I mean, everybody's got an ego, I guess, but I don't have that kind of ego for me.
So Pat, going back to the cruise, when you say you part, like I said, you're not going with a big group of people, so it's just you and your girlfriend and the other people on the cruise. So do you just walk around, you make friends at the pool deck, you drink at the bar, then you go back to your room, maybe
turn the air all the way down, you eat a plate of cookies that room service brings, you do some sexy stuff with your wife, you take one of the uncomfortable poo-poo in a tiny bathroom, you stand on the balcony, you watch your beers get instantly red hot in a bucket of not even real ice. I don't even know what they use.
And then you just get up, hungover, you go to the buffet.
Go to Bordeaux dining room, get some garbage, salty food.
Diarrhea. Yeah. I mean, that's repeat. Is there anything, have we said anything that's different than what you've experienced?
Except this time. I mean, I guess you put it like that.
But this time, the cool thing about cruises now in 2022, the cool thing about cruises is you have all of that. The food, the fights with your wife, the air conditioning down to 0, the diarrhea, and then we're going to add a virus.
So
yeah.
There you go.
Were people extra washy on the pandemic cruise?
Nah, I mean the only difference was that you had to walk around inside the building, inside the cruise ship with a mask on. That was really the only.
What?
I mean, every time you went into the dining room, they made you wash your hands.
So you mean inside the ship it's California, but outside it's good old FLA?
Yeah.
That's weird.
Outside you don't need anything. So it really didn't seem that different. I mean, except like you were sitting down at a bar inside the cruise ship and you got up to use the bathroom. If you forgot to put your mask on, like it was sitting there on the table, no one really like screamed at you. They may hand you a mask because everybody had masks like to hand out too.
That's nice.
So
yeah, it really wasn't like a hard. It wasn't crazy.
So
like,
what you're saying is, in all seriousness, not that big of an inconvenience. Pretty close to normal.
Yeah, pretty close. The only thing, you had to get a test. You had to be vaccinated, and you had to get a test at least 2 days beforehand to get on the boat. That was the only annoying part, is getting a test 2 days beforehand.
I do mine in line.
Where'd you go?
Here you go.
The Bahamas?
Yeah, we were supposed to go to Haiti and their private island and the Bahamas, but they changed last minute. I'm assuming because all the stuff that was kind of going down in Haiti like a month ago. We went all the way to Cozumel from Port Canaveral and then the Bahamas. So they went around all the way around Florida.
What's shaking in Haiti? I haven't been watching any of it.
It's weird. You went around Florida all the way to Cozumel? Like, that's weird.
It was the efficiency cruise.
Like, I mean, there's a lot of Bahamian islands around.
Hit one of the lesser known. Hit a lesser known.
It seems like you save a lot of fuel and time.
But who's going to buy the purses made out of gum wrappers?
Well, they got that in any place that you get out of on a cruise.
I think that stuff comes directly to like the big ones, right? Your Cozumels, your Nassau.
It's all kind of the same. I mean, what's really different between Nassau, like cruise port, and Cozumel or any place?
Yeah, they went western then eastern, which is not something I've ever heard of. Yeah, Tracy just called that out in our Twitch chat room. I've never heard of that. So, but was everything pretty good? Like,
I mean, you don't even notice it because, you go down the boat and then the whole next day is a day at sea. And then the next day you were in Cozumel. And then the next day was a day at sea. And then the next day was in Nassau. So, yeah, I thought the same thing. Like the fuel they must have burned to get all the way to Cozumel. Unless maybe every other port, like in the Bahamas or anything close, was already booked up because they changed our itinerary like last minute, like 3 weeks beforehand. So maybe there was nowhere else to go, and they have to guarantee us 2 ports or something. I don't know.
The most dangerous day for me on a cruise, and you tell me if you guys are like this too, but the most dangerous day for me on a cruise, by far, days at sea. Because the day at sea, I'm out on the pool deck at like a solid 9:30. And I'm like, bring me a bucket of beer. And that is dangerous, dude.
It's a whole day at sea, nothing to do but drink.
I'm toast. By 2 o'clock, I'm blacked out. Like 2 o'clock, I can't. Like 2 o'clock, I have no function. Like I'm peeing my pants at 2 o'clock.
Yeah.
And then they put all the shows late. They need early shows. Like I want to catch a show crocked, like just kind of sitting there sloppy at like around 4. But all the shows are like 9:30, right?
Pat, did you make some cruise friends with a girlfriend that you promised you were gonna email after the cruise, and then on the way home,
give me your Snapchat. Give me your Snapchat Premium.
Yeah, actually, we don't get the Wi-Fi. I like being able to kind of turn off, so I don't get the Wi-Fi package on the boat. So it's actually easy to not give out. People want your Instagram.
Well, wait a minute.
I give out my information, but I don't look at it right there.
If you don't get the Wi-Fi package, then how do you walk around and take pictures of your crappy vacation, proving to people it's awesome when it really sucks? Because that's what everybody does. You walk around and you take a picture of your wife and daughter at the dinner. You're going into the Bordeaux dining room. You take a selfie. You're like having a great time. All in all, you've been arguing with both of them incessantly since the day you got on the boat, and you're going to get a divorce when you get off of this thing.
That's the best part of vacation is
lying to everyone.
Showing everybody else how good it is, even though it's bad.
Yeah, it is bad.
That's the only good part is pretending it's good. Or the only good part is thinking other people thought it was good.
Pretending it's good is a good trip, but the trip itself, not so good. But in theory,
it's always mediocre, right?
Always.
Yeah.
No, they're great. It's a good time.
Oh, you work for Norwegian now. I can smell it.
It was Royal Caribbean.
I do like a Royal Caribbean. What's your favorite cruise line?
Well, that was my first Royal, and I've been on like 15 Carnival, and I've been on one Norwegian. I will say that the Norwegian actually was my least favorite for sure. Quality was down. Everything was not as good on the Norwegian boat.
You look like a Carnival man to me. In fact, you look like Mr. Carnival Cruise Line. You look like the human equivalent of a Carnival cruise, which is not.
I've been on a cruise with an old guy that had like the captain's hat. That him and his wife they stay on the boat like somehow they stay on it year round. Everybody knew their name. I want to be that old 80-year-old man.
Okay. That's you could be Transatlantic Pat, change your name and just like kind of live on the boat.
Ooh, yeah, okay.
That'd be awesome.
Pat, I would imagine that because Pat's that outgoing guy, right? He likes to.
I thought you were gonna say something else.
Wow.
Pat is an alcoholic,
like
a horrible man.
And Pat is I think always means well, and maybe because
he's naturally a positive person. When I look at you, are naturally positive.
But with that, maybe comes a little bit of the tendency to be naive, and I'll explain that. Nothing negative.
Oh man!
I'll explain.
He called you an idiot, Pat.
No, I'll explain to you a situation that I'm just gonna guess may have happened on a cruise that Pat's gone on with his girlfriend. So Pat gets to talking to everybody because he's dressed like a 90s superhero. Yeah. Everybody wants to.
He's dressed like a cross between like Macklemore meets MC Hammer.
Yeah. He's talking. He's nice. Always like super nice person. Right? Yeah. Easy to talk to.
He's also a bartender, so he's a professional, nice guy, right? He's a conversation guy.
I can't even imagine Pat being a D-head. I think he's got what I have, which is impossible to be a D-head to someone. He'd rather just stop talking to him or disappear than actually tell someone something, or you don't like them, or get away from me, or you know what I'm saying, whatever it is. I feel like Pat is never going to be a D-head, so I'm imagining a scenario where Pat is hanging out at the old pool bar or whatever with a couple, and then next thing you know, they are like, hey, come back to our room for some drinks. And then all of a sudden, you're in a scenario where you're like,
old people think that you and your hot girlfriend are going to bang them.
Yeah. Like they misinterpreted your niceness and your party lifestyle for like, swinging,
the dude looks like that main dude that's gross from the Blue Pill Men. That guy's gross. Can we all agree on that? Collectively as society, the old guy, you know the one I'm talking about with the nose and ear hair. The gray, he's got nose hairs.
Yes,
That guy's disgusting. You should be ashamed of yourself, Blue Pill Man. You're horrible.
Also, I feel so bad for the girls. I'm like,
it's horrifying.
I'm like, there's no way.
Like, I'll give you any amount of money to not do that. I don't even know you. I just want to save you.
There's no way you are having a good time. Like, you don't like
That's not a Carnival cruise. I'll tell you that right now. That's definitely Norwegian.
Old disgusto Blue Pill Man.
My God,
you're having to do that.
Can you buzz your nose hairs before you do something gross?
Also, there's that other one, the old Dijon, whatever. You know what I'm talking about? It's a European one.
Why do European people? What is that?
What is that? Is it? It's like old. It's old. You know what I'm talking about? Like a Dijon. It's an old Dijon. You see it, Pat, right?
You
What
got me,
is that?
dude. You broke me. You broke me. I can't stop laughing.
It is filmed super HD.
Yeah, no, I know.
And there's like an old man in a bucket hat, and they're outdoors.
Yeah,
It's old with a J-E at the end.
Old Dejar. And everybody talks like that.
Yeah, I feel bad for those girls
super
too.
European.
I'm like, oh,
why are they in a field? Why are there bees everywhere?
Anyway, sorry, Pat. So have
Oh God, I'm crying.
Has some old du jour picked you up?
No, not on this one, at least. Not on this boat. There was a lot of old people, though. I didn't know Royal Caribbean was a little bit of an older crowd. People told me that, but it was definitely a little older of a crowd.
Pat, how are you with fitting into the spring break? Is that still something that happens?
How do you jockey for position? Not saying you're an older partier, but you are a seasoned seasonal veteran.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm a
little
party.
More professional.
Yeah. So how do you navigate? Like, that's a good question, Tom. How do you navigate the spring break space? It's hard to say.
I have been on a couple of spring break cruises as well. Yes, I'm getting a little older. To me, the spring break crowd is a little more annoying, and I feel like everybody else sees the kids being a little more aggressive with alcohol or the pranks or the things on boats, where I know my space, I know my lane, I know I know how to not annoy people. At least I feel like I do. I'm sure I've annoyed some people in the past, but I know how to to me, be funny and not be annoying.
That's what I say around these guys, but they've basically created a whole classification for what I am, and they belittle me, belittling me, but calling me a chirper, making me sound like nothing more than just a bird with no opinion.
So, Pat, let's talk about bartending for a second, because you've been into the hospitality industry, the restaurant industry, the bar industry, your entire life, right?
Yeah, not my entire life, but a good portion of my college career. And then I got into what I thought was going to be 9 to 5. After college, I'm going to be a 9 to 5 middle management kind of guy. And then I realized that sucked, and I got back into the bar game. So, yeah, quite a bit of my life.
I have a lot of friends that did that. They got the career job, and then were like, nah, bartending's easier. I make more money. I'll do that.
Dude, way more.
One of my buddies is a manager for a restaurant, and he constantly, he makes good money, and he manages a lot of people, and he's like, the amount of stress and the headache it is, I'd rather just be a bartender and make 20 grand less a year, and not have to do, because I'll make, and he's like, and the money you make in cash almost offsets the damn 20,000, whatever it is. Like, it's, it's so good just to show up at a job, do your job, and leave and never think about it again.
It's also based on
you're right.
It's based on your singular performance too. So if you go in there with a really positive attitude and you're good at it, like I know Pat is, like he can crush it because he has no one else to really detract.
Let me ask you this, Pat. If you just want to be a career bartender, is there a mecca of bars to get to where you're pulling in? Because I imagine, there used to be this thing out in Vegas.
High-end valets.
Some valets were pulling in 6 figures plus a year being a valet, and super high because of tips and things like that. And but to even get to that position, you had to be the most professional valet ever or whatever, but it's still a valet making over 6 figures a year. I am sure there's tons of bartenders making over 6 figures a year just bartending. Do you have to be in some high traffic area like Vegas, or is it who makes the most money bartending in Central Florida? What do you think?
I would assume in Orlando, probably your downtown crowd, but they have to really, that's why a lot of downtown bartenders get burned out quick, or they move from bar to bar relatively within a year or two, because it is very stressful to be in a high volume bar where you have, it's like stress for 6 hours that doesn't stop, and you don't get home till 4:30 in the morning, which Orlando, we close at 2. But every bartender that I know that works in the late night biz, they don't get home till 4:30 still. And I would say downtown you make your most money. I know people that make upwards. I've heard many a tale of the $700 to $1,200 a night on a very consistent basis.
Wow, probably mostly cash.
$700 is a buddy of mine who makes $700 a night. He'd make $400 to $700 for sure every single night.
When Tiffany was when she was bartending at Mako's, and she did the swing for a while, but what she really liked was the bartending aspect, because you would get tipped really well for being a good bartender, and she was a good bartender. But she would also
she's hot too,
right? Exactly, she's beautiful. So, she would also tell me how freaking stressful it was though when you've got a packed bar and you're basically wearing lingerie, you're in a packed bar, and she's slinging actual drinks to people, like good ones. It's a pain in the ass.
I remember
She was mean to me one time at Mako. She was rude to me for no reason at all. I remember.
Let's get her. She's not here to defend herself. Let's air her out.
And she's like 8 months
canceled.
8 months pregnant right now.
Let's make her cry. I'm kidding.
And I remember I was there when Drunky the Bear did a backflip off stage one time.
I know that
was a sight to be seen. That was a good one.
Yeah, he tried that one time. He tried that one time, I believe, at Harry Buffalo. There's a video of it. It is wild. It's like
Can you still do a backflip off of stage?
Of course I can. I mean, the stage has got to be a little bit higher nowadays.
Yeah.
And
do you think you could land it? Dude, your knees would explode. You're so stiff.
Well, yeah, I am stiff, but
you're stiffer than you've ever been.
I'm lighter than I was.
You are lighter.
Actually, back then I was like.
But your straws would just explode. You got two paper straw legs.
Speaking of Makos, I did see Autumn with the Bottom one time.
No, you did not.
No. Well,
yes.
I hope you saw her. I hope she's $3 bills.
No, no, I saw her. She they would constantly climb in and out. Wait a
minute, is this a recent sighting? Or is
no. I'm saying back when
I want now. I want to know that she's like, I've changed my life. I'm all into God.
But the bar was one of those like round bars in the middle, and they would constantly climb in and out. But there's no door or so you'd have to climb over the bar.
Yeah.
So she climbed over the bar and then tried to do that move where you're sitting and then you use your hands to propel yourself over the drink, the liquor bottles, right?
Yes.
And all the liquor bottles were basically stacked up
with the little pointy tops on them.
With the metal pointy tops that are sharp, and
What are we supposed to call them, Pat? I'm sorry, I called them pointy tops.
Metal pointy tops.
Yeah,
pour spouts.
Pour spouts.
Okay.
She caught one of her butt cheeks on one of the pour spouts, and it literally. Pierced her butt cheek.
Oh, yuck. You're getting blood all in my Pinnacle vodka. Gross. This whipped cream vodka's got blood all in it.
And she didn't even know, and she went to go, step forward, and then the pour spout caught her because it was
oh, God.
It was in her butt cheeks.
My God, that's just like being in the military. Thank you for your service, Autumn.
And then, anyway, what's the most you've ever hurt yourself bartending, Pat?
A glass, like a broken glass or something. You reach down and you slice your hand open. Or no. The most I ever did was cutting fruit. Cutting lemons is the worst because lemons have the seeds in it, and the seed will catch on the blade. And then you go to pick up the blade and put it in another piece of lemon, and it doesn't pierce the lemon, and it slides into your finger. That's the worst.
Gotcha. So
I cut my hand on a bagel, cutting a bagel one time. I want to play.
That's pretty good.
Yeah. It was one of those slicers, too, that you get at Bed Bath & Beyond where you put the bagel in there. And then you have that knife that is only good for two things. It's good for cutting a bagel in one slice or stabbing your mom and dad to death while they sleep. Have you seen that knife? My God. It's just it's a stabbing knife.
Yeah.
But it's for bagels.
Why?
Ooh, speaking of random things, I just saw a picture of me and my mom had. Did you guys ever have the clear phone that was for kids?
Yes.
It was a phone that was clear. It was all colored on the inside.
Yeah, and it lit up. You could see the guts inside. Yeah.
Yes, I had that in the 90s.
Had that.
Yeah. You should get, I'm surprised you don't have one. That's the quintessential
I'm
90s
disappointed
phone.
that you don't have one.
You know what? I've got a bunch of other old phones in here that don't work that are just laying around, but I haven't come across one. I bet I can find one on eBay. You're right. I should get one of those for sure.
I'm sure they have them around because there's
probably still making them because everything 90s is. Are you upset that everybody is kind of jumping on the 90s?
Yeah, I was doing this before everybody was on it. Like I vintage shirts and clothing. Now that it's so hard I was on this train before everybody did. I feel like people think I'm a poser sometimes, maybe, but.
Yeah, but it's...
Tom does.
No.
That's what you heard with that long sigh. That's his poser sigh. He's like,
yeah.
No, I'm kidding. We don't think that.
When you're into something and then all of a sudden it becomes trendy, it's
going to be harder for him to find his, it was his hobby, right?
It is.
So I'm actually thinking about it from a practical standpoint. Like, this is something that he greatly enjoys. This isn't for a goof. This isn't a poser. This is like Pat's hobby with his girlfriend is to go around and enjoy the 90s and celebrate it. And now everybody's doing that. So you can't find any of your starter jackets or windbreakers or Billabong jackets or none of that garbage.
It's kind of like camping.
I just got to pay up for it now, which is annoying.
Like being outdoors, and then the pandemic, like you loving and being outdoors, the pandemic hit, everybody starts flooding every place that's good, and you're mad about it because now all the places you used to go are packed or sold out, or you can't find an RV or camping, because
now the chat room, they're throwing things out there. They want to see 1960s Mad Men. Pat, do you ever move on from the 90s and say, okay, this is it, bye-bye Michael Jordan, bye-bye Wheaties, bye-bye 90s, and now I am now 1940s flapper Pat? Like, do you ever?
No.
So 90s forever?
Yeah, because, I have a soft spot in my heart because I grew up in the 90s. So, like, all these things that I get, I either had as a kid or remember seeing as a kid, like it's just fun for me to relive my childhood. That's what I like.
Once we got into the 2000 era, basically those decade separators kind of went away, right? Because we've always had.
I don't do the 10s. People do.
No,
like Spotify tries to get me on that. They're like, "Do you want to listen to hip hop from the 2010s?" I'm like, "No such thing. It's dead. Spotify. It's all dead."
But it is weird that like in the 1900s, like everything was like 1950s, 60s. Everything has a brand.
Oh, it's the 2000s.
Yeah, like the 60s, and then like where you go hippie, and then the 70s. Everything has like a quintessential look about it or whatever.
Yeah. Are we in the 2020s now? Should I be like, oh yeah, the 2020s had the craziest?
But there's no definitive branding for like from 2000 to 2010. There's nothing that anybody could put their finger on or say like something's quintessential this. Maybe we just need some more time to look back at it, but I think it ended.
You need more time.
Yeah, but I really do think it ended because it was something psychological about 19 and then the decade.
Yeah.
It meant more, like once we passed 2000s, like no one, and I'm sure there was a time, there was like a look and a fashion and a branding from 2000 to 2010 that's unique to that, but there's nothing that is marketable or that we could point our finger at and say, oh, that's so 2005. We make the joke. We know things like the beginning of social media and stuff, but it's not a look.
No, you're right. It isn't a look. The 90s.
No, there is definitely. I was thinking right now, there's a look for sure in like the hip hop or rap or like urban community. Super baggy, saggy pants. That's gone, and that was for sure like 2000s. Like that'll be in 10 years. That'll be like if you saw a picture of LeBron James his rookie year, you'll know that because he had super big baggy pants on.
Yeah, but baggy pants started like at late 90s.
Wait, but baggy pants are back now, right?
Like Jinkos and that kind of thing.
Are we back baggy? Where are we at?
No, we're it's still pretty, it's pretty like not tight but not loose now. It's like a normal modern just regular
So we're coming out of skinny jeans.
Yeah, and it's like the mom pants, like the mom jeans. Like I got a pair like, they're like they look like jeans that your dad would wear, but they're like in now.
Yeah, but everybody's wearing their jeans like bigger people do, where they wear them around their midsection. So when you unzip the zipper, you're scratching your belly. Like everybody's wearing their mom jeans.
Are they? They're pulling their.
Yeah, like I have relatives that are farmers that even like I see guys that are wearing this and they got their front butt in their pants.
Yeah,
well that's old men.
I got a pair of pants that I kind of wear like that. They look like that. They're cut weird. They look like girls put them on and they look like they got no butt.
Yeah, they're square. Like my dad had a pair of jeans. I swear to God, it looked like just like a rectangle that had a cut in the center.
Yeah.
And he put them on. They're just dungarees. Just like
it is.
There's no shape whatsoever. There's no silhouette. There's no fashion involved. It's just cover this ass with this cloth.
My sons will wear their shorts at their belly button, which is supposed to be your waist, right? And
so does Maisie. That's a little kid thing, dude. Little kids dress like old men. My daughter, and she's got a pooch. My daughter will drink a gallon of water and get a pooch belly, and then pull her pants up over her belly button like her uncle. It's ridiculous.
But that's where your waist is, right?
That's where you're supposed to measure your waist. Yeah.
But then I just scream, "Why your pants into a hierarchical.
Yes. And you bully them.
Yeah,
Good.
yeah, yeah.
I'm glad you do that.
But they don't understand. They're like, I'm wearing my pants. This is how you wear them.
This is how you wear your pants.
Like, why do you wear your pants so low?
They're already more conservative than you are. They're like, this is the wear your pants. I like beer. What's wrong with you?
So, Pat, what are you watching on TV nowadays? With
I'm into The Office. I never watched any of The Office
God.
when it was on. Dude,
God
I'm
damn
into the freaking Office.
It's so good, right?
yeah.
Welcome to 20 years ago.
I know.
But seeing it with fresh eyes, right? Like I'm watching baseball for the first time at 45. Like it's fun and we didn't ruin it for you with all the different jokes and stuff. What season are you on of The Office?
Oh, it's on. I have cable television like Daniel does, so it's on random. Yeah, I like cable. Yes. But it's not like
Pat, I
like
knew
watching
you were
these in
good,
full
dude.
seasons.
Pat,
I knew Pat was good. He's got cable like a good American should have, like I have.
See,
watch TV on demand. It's a fountain of TV right there in your house.
I love it.
When you say you like
Commercials
something
flowing freely.
that is not as good as what's available, then it makes you sound old.
No, you streaming nerds, you spend as much or more than us cable nerds do, and you can't figure out how to do that. I've been to your homes before, and you're like, all right, hold on, I got to get, hold on, where's my VPN password? Honey, turn the internet. It's a mess. It's a mess.
If you're talking price, that's different, because I do agree now with
it's the same.
Subscriptions. Yeah, it's the same, or even I've got more money in subscriptions than I used to have in cable. But I'm just saying the actual idea of on-demand is better than here's what we have
to offer.
Yeah.
Because it's just random.
Well, I got the cable. It's got the best of both worlds. You know what I mean? So it has the on-demand option with free stuff. Like there's endless free shows on my on-demand button. But then I like the idea of when I turn my TV on, I don't got to think about what I want to watch. I just find a channel. I'm like, oh, Seinfeld's on. Oh, okay, The Office is on. Oh, reruns of The King of Queens. I don't got to like.
Yes.
I don't want to pick.
You're watching all the quality stuff. I mean, this guy. Why go for the Game of Thrones when you got King of Queens, man? I'm with you, Pat.
Yeah. Now
I watch QVC, so I'm like 9 steps ahead of you, buddy.
You're realizing you're saying something that's not as good as then being able to decide what you want to watch instead of being just given.
Got a full-blown King of Queens randomizer in his house.
Yeah, your argument against not having cable is you don't want to think, which is
yeah, totally.
I guess there's an advantage to not having
turning
to
your
think.
brain off. Pick it for me. Up, Seinfeld, perfect.
Yes, I like that.
Yeah, I do too.
It seems like you could achieve that with. I don't know.
Because I don't know what episode I want to watch of any of these TV shows. I don't want to watch a particular episode of Seinfeld that I've seen 100 times. But if it's on, I'll just watch it because I like that episode. But I don't necessarily want to find the one where he goes to the Kenny Rogers Roasters.
Yeah. Oh, Kenny Rogers Roasters.
It's weird though, because we don't consume back to pornography.
Okay. Always back to pornography.
No one has ever said
if they had a channel, I would just tune in.
Okay, well,
I would.
It'd
be easier.
You would want that?
It'd be easier because I wouldn't have to kill my browser history. I'd just go to channel 69. There it is. Oh, buddy. All right, I'm done. Go back to channel 12.
Well, I was gonna ask. Is there any sort of business model into having a pornography channel?
Are we starting a pornography channel? Oh my God! Worst idea ever. I love it. I love it. We're the Larry Flints of Orlando.
I don't think anybody would go to that.
Of course
because they want to choose what they're into.
Yes, and they're being embarrassed. And we're not running PP Avengers 5 on my channel. We're a
but it's the same thing.
Business.
You want to choose what you like, but you don't want to just be given whatever whoever put this together for.
You're getting surprise bus. If you don't know what that is, you will soon.
So everything should be that. Anyway, sorry, Pat. All right.
We've got a lot of bad today.
So where can people see you, Pat?
Come see me at the Brass Tap. I'm in Waterford Lakes. It's the only Brass Tap in Orlando, Florida. You can also follow me on TikTok, on Instagram. It's at Cadillac Pat, just like it's spelled. And on Twitter. I'm not as active on there or Snapchat, but definitely on Instagram and TikTok. I'm trying to be pretty active on there.
Can you get the manager or owner for Brass Tap to at least become a watering hole or something?
Yeah, become a watering hole.
Yeah.
We need some more income coming in.
It's $250 a month. It's not that expensive.
Tell him to email me.
Yeah. It'll be on the thing.
Right.
You'll make some money. He'll make some money. Marketing. Blah blah blah.
Yeah, we'll say.
Look! Did you see my Tom and Dan art I got?
I did. I was gonna bring that up. You got that from our buddy, right?
Yep.
Hold on.
Josh Bauer.
It was actually. Yeah, it's pretty good. It's hard. It's kind of hard to read, but when you look at it, it's pretty good.
Ooh, artists love it when you say their stuff is hard to read. They love that.
no, but it's awesome art. It's awesome.
Yeah, sure.
All right, Pat. If we don't see you, have a great New Year. Have a good Christmas.
And tell your girlfriend we said hey, and I hope you guys continue your '90s adventures together.
All right, guys. I'll talk to you guys soon.
Hey, wait,
Thanks
she
again.
didn't move out like Seth, right?
Oh no! Oh wait, what happened?
I can't talk about it. Gotta go. Bye. Oh, I hung up on it. Oh, I left it like that. Look how I left him. He's like, look how curious he is. Seth's gonna kick my head off, isn't he?
No. He'll never listen to this unless he's on Twitch randomly when he's not working. So
when is he working?
I
He's
have
just
no
a
idea.
silent investor at this point. No, he teaches classes.
His dojo is where
that's
his job, his business. Like the gyms, I think they run themselves or whatever. But I've never. I mean, he's got things.
Dude, I see people pouring out of the jungle. You don't need to be giving him $100. That place is hot. I see people flipping tires. That's the way I go to get my coffee in the morning, and there's 100 muscle dudes with mohawks and tattoos running out there flipping tires and beating things with sledgehammers and stuff.
I'm not giving him the $100 because I think he needs it. It just established he wouldn't do the show without the $100 now.
Make it 99. see if he'll do it.
I mean, so for me, it's like, all right, $200 a month to have that character on our show is worth it to me.
Yeah, I agree.
Because with that, like, I can say no more $100.
No, don't do that.
I don't think he'll show up.
No.
And then it's like, well, what are they trying to save $100? That's counterintuitive to our business.
Yeah, he's our friend. Just give him the money. Just give him the money. He's sad.
Well,
anyway.
that's just business.
Uh-oh. Bye-bye.
Welcome to A Corporate Time with Tom and Dan. I'm Tom.
I am Dan. Samantha will be here momentarily. The fish. Where are we at with the fish? Fish are good.
Yeah.
Damn fine. The tank looks amazing. Some things that we need to tell you about, though. We're live on Twitch right now, twitch.tv/Tom and Dan Live. You might hear about this thing called streaming. It's kind of taking over the world. Well, we have a stream live from our studios in beautiful Baldwin Park, Florida, and you can check us out every Monday through Friday. Right around 10:30 a.m. in the morning, we load up the studio. We don't stop till around 4, and you can be a part of that. Just go to twitch.tv/Tom and Dan Live, and if you miss anything, we're always on YouTube, Tom and Dan Live.
Also, new merch on tomanddan.com. So if you want that, it's up there.
All right. We may have done this. I don't think we did. I think this had to do with trying out for the news. Might be another person.
Hey, guys. I heard that you were on. I heard you play my message before about doing the news, and I can do it for less than 100 for Seth. If y'all just want to let me know what kind of news, I can get it.
He's listening to Sister Hazel in the background, by the way. Finally figured out, but it took a long, long time. There's a turnabout, maybe I'm still crying. There's been times I'm so confused. He's listening to the whole thing.
Can prepare. I don't know what y'all. Sometimes I know there's different kinds. If there's entertainment or sports or like weird news.
I don't know if the cadence is going to work, right? He's very calm. I could see this on maybe an easy listening station, adult contemporary, something like that. I'm not sure it has the energy level we're looking for if we're really and truly going to try and figure this out, right?
Also, the news is just a conduit to talk about jumping off point to go wherever we're going to go, right? It's just you're spinning the wheel, and then we're not even really going to talk about that particular... Like, we're not a news show, and even when we do news segments with Ross or Seth, like, no one's listening to this show because they want to find out about the news.
I've never wanted to be that kind of show. Because and one of the reasons why... I've had people ask me why we don't cover things at all, and I I did like 10 years of that. When I was working for Ed Till, like that's all I did was like pull news stories, paraphrase news stories, highlight news stories, cover news stories. It's boring.
Well, it used to be in media where if you had a show, you kind of had to be as broad as possible and cover as many topics as possible to be universally as liked as possible. That was the whole point of every show was to get as many listeners as possible, right?
Right.
So you can, have the biggest number to sell to your advertisers because the more listeners, the more money you can get, right? So it was a lot of like, hey, let's offer a little bit for everybody, and we have to tell people what's going on, and then we have to tell them the weather and all stuff like.
Yeah, there's a lot to do here. Yeah,
and now every human has a phone,
weather station, a timer, a clock, a reminder, a personal assistant,
news app that every piece of breaking news is either coming through Twitter or social media or whatever news app you have or your phone in general. Like you're getting everything sent to you, right? So there's no need for us to tell you any of that because your phone is telling you constantly. So what can we do? Try to make you laugh and also talk about nonsensical things so that you
maybe relax you a little bit.
Yeah, so you're not inundated with stress or the polarizing current events.
We're no different than a masseuse.
We are an audio.
We're
masseuse.
audio masseuses, and we will get you if you need that.
Oh yeah.
All you got to do is put a virtual dollar in my virtual boot, and I'm gonna, whatever.
Yeah, we'll go far.
Yeah, what do you need? I'll go as far as it takes because it's not real. I'll sit on it. Shouldn't have said that. Let's try this one. This guy is going to end up being your single favorite caller, and I believe that you owe this man money, a prize or something, because this man just solved your problems, buddy.
Man, guys, I feel like you're missing.
Oh, wait, hold on. Not that guy. This guy. That guy's the rebuttal. That's the rebuttal.
Okay.
Got him out of order. This guy's the guy you're going to love.
Hey, what's up, guys? This is Ben with a Y again. I'm just listening to the Friday Free Show about Tom's awkwardness to get out of an awkward situation or whatever. You just have to end it with a positive note. So if someone comes up to you with a clipboard, you just say, hey, I'm not interested, but I appreciate it though. So that way you end on a positive note. So if someone's holding you hostage for 7 minutes watching a video, just like, hey, look, I gotta go, but I do appreciate it though. And just walk out, and it gets you out of every situation because you're not being the jerk at the end. You're letting them know that you appreciate the gesture, but you just don't have time right now. So if someone comes up to you with a clipboard, happened to me the other day at the racetrack with some guy with some casinos in the Seminole Indians. I was like, look, man, I appreciate everything, but I'm just not interested. But I appreciate it, though. And he said, well, let me tell you. I was like, no, I appreciate it, but no thank you. And you just got to be positive.
I don't think it's you can't, if you do it once and you say, I appreciate it, though, you want it to end. But sometimes it may not. That's the only flaw I can see is the guys go, I know you appreciate it, but tell me, would you? Then you're like, I just saw the appreciation thing is not working. I'm freaking out. Now I have to kill you.
But also, what do you appreciate?
You're lying. Does it matter? You're lying to the guy. You're obviously lying to him and telling him you appreciate something. You don't. Are you so logical you can't lie to the homeless man?
No, but I just like he knows I don't appreciate it. Like, what do I appreciate?
So when you think as you're saying I appreciate it, he's like, you don't appreciate it.
Do you appreciate the effort to
walk
hold on,
around? Try it with me, and I'm gonna give you your nightmare. Try it with me.
All right.
Hey, sir, would you like to sign this petition? It's to help the Seminole Indians with the casinos and.
No, thank you, but I appreciate it, man.
What do you appreciate?
I guess
What do you appreciate?
I guess I appreciate your hard work.
You've met me before. What's my name? It's one of those, right? It's one of those where they'll call you out. They'll be like, okay, what do you appreciate? Then you're like, I got nothing.
Yeah, because like I don't even know what I would appreciate.
You weren't even listening. You just went into your failsafe, which is, it's fine, but I appreciate it. And then you weren't even listening.
Because you know what? I don't appreciate it.
Oh, that could go bad. What if you do that? Then you're fighting with the person.
I don't appreciate you bothering me while I'm walking to my car. Or inside anywhere. Like, I don't.
So wait a minute. Are you claiming that you would stand there and you try to
I appreciate when you open the door for me, but when you try to make me sign your BS petition or give you money in some way or buy your kids cookies, I don't appreciate it.
So are you going to do that? Or are you going to be there and the guy's like, hey, would you like to sign this? And you're like, hold on a second. I can't do this. You know what? I don't appreciate it. Are you going to do that?
But I get this guy's point where it is.
Give him some positive.
It's easier to end on a high note. Although an odd high note to say because like appreciating something insinuates that person did something positive to you.
Is it bad of me when homeless people come up to me?
Hey, what's up, guys? This is Ben with a Y.
Okay, I think I'm done with you, Ben. When homeless people come up to me and say, like, hey, you know, like, you gotta, I'm trying to get some money. Normally now they give me a purpose. You know, so they'll be like, hey, I'm just trying to get some money, or I need like 17 more cents. That's a new one I've been hearing is like, I need 17 more cents. And I feel bad because I'm like, well, obviously you don't know that people don't typically carry around a lot of coins, right? Maybe they do. I don't know. I don't.
Yeah.
But I'll say this. I'll say, oh, man, I don't have any money on me, but hey, good luck. Is it bad of me to wish them luck?
No, that's different.
I say good luck with it.
That's a better positive than appreciate
okay.
because again,
because that's what I do. I go, well, good luck with it, man. I wish you luck. I wish you the best.
There's nothing to appreciate in a scenario where someone's either...
Well, you're appreciating their hustle. You're appreciating their grit. You're appreciating their perseverance.
Yeah. But do you? Because you,
you have
turned them down.
Yeah, well, you're right.
If you did appreciate it, you would.
Well, no, you could appreciate it without leaning in, right?
I guess, but
like I appreciate the freedom of swingers. I appreciate their freedom, but it's not for me and my wife.
That's different though, because why
did I go to that example?
They're asking you, hey, can you sign this petition, or hey, can you listen to the sales pitch for a second? And by you saying you appreciate it means that.
Do you appreciate it enough to sign it? No, but I do appreciate it. Okay, all right.
Yeah. Well, it's like you good luck is a better positive to end because it's like, no, thank you, but good luck for the next.
But you got to be careful with it. You can't be like, yeah, good luck with that. You got to go. Hey, man, good luck with it.
How about you tell them? Hey, if anybody ever says they appreciate you, they're lying.
Okay, so give them an actual piece of world advice.
Yeah, where you're telling them.
Yeah, I was about to tell you I appreciate it, but I don't. So if you hear anybody say they appreciate it, just know that they're lying. Hey, and by the way, good luck.
That's the way.
That's the perfect way.
What's the other guy that was counteracting this?
Okay, so the other guy, well, maybe not a counteract, but another guy weighing in on it because apparently you struck a chord with your whole like what to say to people that are like,
oh yeah,
try to get out of like a clipboard scenario. I mean, I had no idea that this is such a hot button topic.
Man, guys, I feel like you're missing the satisfaction that comes from when somebody outside of a store tries to shove a clipboard or product in your face and you look at them so coolly and say, absolutely fucking not. And you just keep on walking. Oh, it feels so good. The first time, second time, scary. Third time, you're starting to get used to it. Fourth and fifth time, you're fucking king gold at it. You can do it. I promise.
There you go.
So he's saying that you'll end up getting some sort of
that's
enjoyment.
just getting used to murder. Right, that's like a sniper, like a sniper.
Yeah. It's real bad the first time.
Yeah, that guy that explodes people's heads all the time, the best sniper in the world. The first couple, I'm sure, are he's like questioning why he went in the military.
Hard to sleep.
Yeah, he's telling his wife, he's like, I killed somebody today.
You can't
crying in the sand.
Yeah. How do you eat your Cheerios the next morning? You're like, I killed a human. He maybe had a family.
Yes,
but
he had a family.
But then after 30, you're just like,
give me more.
Oh, I can't do it because I feel like I hurt the person's feelings, and I feel like there was no need to be a D-head. I'll way more, like I'd rather do the I appreciate it way more than the absolutely effing not. That's
now,
it. You didn't need to say that.
There's one
you
more.
You can say no thank you.
There's one more that I absolutely dislike. But I have, and you and I have both known people that have done the highly negative one where they dress down the person because the person is bothering them. I put it in the same category as demeaning your server or sending your food back in an SE way.
That's the most awkward.
It's the most awkward. But we know those people. They're like, sir, would you like that? Like, why are you doing this? Is this your job? Like, you're bothering people, right? Why are you doing this?
Yeah.
And I'm like, I start to lose my. I just die. I don't want to be there.
Yeah.
Why are you doing this? Why are you being so mean?
Yeah. I've done this with Publix before, and we've talked about it.
The crab legs, you stole them. I remember this.
Yeah. I've said I've already donated yesterday when they asked me to write my name on the
I did
balloon.
this at Wawa.
So I wonder if that'll work with everything, where if anybody tries to sell you anything or sign the petition or whatever, you just tell them, I signed that with you yesterday. Like, there's no way they remember, right?
Sometimes they do. Because the job's kind of boring. You know what I hate doing? And it
But
happens a lot.
They've been doing so many different people out there. No way they remember some random white guy. All white guys look the same.
We're more alike than we are different, right? I'm going to give you one where you and I get into the same club. When I go to any store, namely like a new store, like a cycle gear, I was getting some motorcycle parts.
Yeah.
Don't normally shop there, but, you know, I'm going to go in there maybe once every 2 years or once a year and get a battery or something. And I'm in there, and they're like, "Are you?" I hate this. It drives me crazy.
Yeah.
Are you a member of our membership program? And I'm like, "No, I am not." This is the one that gets me. Would you like to sign up? It only takes a second. It hurts my heart. It hurts my heart. We're in the same club because it hurts my heart because I'm like, is this going to help this guy? Because he's a nice guy. And if I sign up for it, but I don't want to sign up for it because I don't want your emails. I don't want a key fob. I don't want points. I don't want to collect my points. I don't want money off. I just want my battery for my Vespa or for my Honda. I just want the battery or the helmet part or the deodorizer or something.
Dude, every time I go to CVS,
are you a member of our CVS rewards program?
Do you have a number? And then I do have a number. It's my wife's cell phone number.
Yeah, mine is too.
But I don't even want to put it in.
I don't know my wife's cell phone number. I have to look on my phone. I have to go, Andrea, Dennis, and I scroll through in the finder.
Whatever I'm buying, whatever, I don't want the 2 foot long receipt of coupons that I'll never use. Like, it's just wasting the earth. So I say no. And then they're like, well, you sign up. You could say real quick, what's your phone number? And then I'm like, I got one. Because then they've presented another impossible task of now I gotta sign up, and I'm not that insane. So I'm like, I have to admit that I lied, and then I'm like, I got one, and then I put my
got one. I just hate you, and I did one. Okay, fine. You got me, CVS. I do have one. You know what? I do have one. I just hate you, and I hate putting it in. And there needs to be a better way. How about facial recognition or something? I'm out of here.
So that and then the 3 foot long receipt, stuff it in my truck's little area in the door panel.
Oh man!
And then I'm mad. That's how I still have. And I'm not joking. My credit is actually affected. I think they have a judgment against me.
What, CVS?
No. Was a newspaper in town, Orlando Sentinel.
Oh my God.
And the guy.
Can't we get Scott Maxwell to help? Can't he sneak in the record room and just erase that?
They already sold my debt off to a collection agency.
God. I forgot that you got the paper. You're the only old man that got the paper in his 30s. Who does that? You're supposed to wait to your 40s to order the paper.
Well, I got it. It was getting delivered here. And then
we use a
put
lot
it on
of
my
it.
desk, and then finally I canceled that, and then they tried to re-up me, and then they said I didn't pay my bill, and they sent it to collections, and now it's a bump on my credit.
Oh man, that's bad.
All over a guy sitting in a store.
Ace Hardware.
And I walk by, and he's like, sir, do you want to sign up? He's like, we'll give you a $5 gift card for signing up. I'm like, no, thank you. He's like, please, I'll give you $2.
I'll give you $10.
And he begged me, and then
I'll suck your dick. You know what's funny? As I was going to say, I'll suck your gift card, but I couldn't do it. I had to say dick.
There's more work for yourself.
That's all right. There's no Sam here. I like torturing myself. It's a hard week, buddy.
All right, let's.
I got another one. I got it
one.
queued up. Let me just make sure I make a notation. 16 minutes. Please make an edit. And moving on. We'll try this one right here from our buddy Kenny.
Tom and Dan and Sam and Trav. Hey guys, it's Kenny. I think there's a subsect of chirper that is in the nervous category. Because you know how some people, they laugh when they're nervous, or they're like a nervous laugher? I think there's nervous chirpers. And the reason why, I was in line at a Wawa, and the guy in front of me was paying and getting his transaction done.
I went to Wawa this morning, and my fights with Wawa lines continue. I went to the Wawa that I always go to, because I always go to the same one to see if they fix the problem, right? I don't go to a new one, because chances are if I go to a new Wawa, they're going to run their lines right. They're going to run their lines like a 7-Eleven. But they don't. They run their lines like, standard Wawa, which is lawlessness in the streets. This Wawa's like Portland. There's homeless camps everywhere, everything running, nobody cares. People being thrown into cars and kidnapped. It's insanity. But I went there, and sure enough, they opened up a new register, and it was just a free-for-all. They're like, we got a new register. Fight it out. They never say, sir, the next person in line, we will take you now. There's no order to it whatsoever. I hate it.
Have you ever asked like a Wawa employee?
Yes.
About why they do that?
I asked the one guy, I don't know. They don't know.
They don't care.
They don't care. They just like it. It doesn't matter what person walks up there. You could be standing in line with 20 items in your hands and be in the back and run to the front and get up there, and they'd be like, "This is fine. I don't care." Anybody here, look, a body. We'll continue.
I guess he felt he was taking longer, so as he was leaving, he turns around and goes, "Hey, I'm sorry. I was trying to get the app open, and, sometimes the app just doesn't load correctly, and then when I had the app open, I was trying to use it, and it just wasn't scanning properly," where it's like, it was chirping because he really didn't need to talk to me, but at the same time, he was doing it out of pure nervousness, as if, he was feeling awkward in that moment. So I think that might be a little bit of some of the chirping that happens, is just out of sheer nervousness of not, really wanting to be in that situation. But anyway, just wanted to know what you guys think. Love you. Bye.
I've seen those guys before. Like, normally it's like the lady that's paying for something with check or all coins, and she'll turn around and she'll be like, "I'm so sorry." Like, that's fine. Yeah. Whatever.
Well, I believe all chirping it's rooted in some sort of fear of awkwardness, fear of silence, nervous that no one's talking and you got to break the ice. Jeff Howell does this.
Dude, I was going to say that.
Where he can't be in an elevator with you or a silent room with you. He just feels the need out of some weird awkwardness that he has personally to start talking to the person in the room or the elevator or whatever. About nonsense.
Gotta say something.
Yeah.
Gotta say something.
You do it in the bathroom. Like I work with a guy for years. He would just start talking.
Water's cold, deep in it.
Yeah. Or he says dad jokes. Yeah. That's an element of chirping. Although not really the same type of chirping Daniel does, but it's in the Venn diagram.
I like to think of my chirping as being the highest level of chirping. It's like very elegant. It's very like I feel
the
like
ballroom dancing.
Yeah, I feel like my chirping has a certain level of finesse and je ne sais quoi. Like my chirping is like no one else can chirp like me. Like I'm sort of like a legend. I'm like legend status chirper.
You are the Jordan of chirping.
I think I am.
Someone make a Daniel
as a little bird dunking words into a tiny paper cup.
But yes, Kenny, you're right. There's a nervous chirper that is also, in that category.
I both love and hate it when people combat religion with like common sense or logic or something like that. And we have one of those here. This is we were talking about Jehovah's Witness or Jehovah's Witnesses, Witness-I.
Jehovah.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Jehovah White. Jehovah Witness-I. I think that's how you say it.
Hey, Tom and Dan.
Hold on a second. Is this guy going number one?
Who decides to leave our voice? Because
a lot. I get a lot of number one voicemails.
Because it's not like you're on hold with BB&T Bank and then all of a sudden like, you're waiting and then they said, hello, and then you're in the middle. Like, you called us. Like, so we didn't surprise you and you're like, oh, I'm in the middle.
You could have waited till you're done, wash your hands and grab your phone, but here's what we got.
Hey, Tom and Dan. I was just listening to your show. We were interviewing Tuttle, and you guys talk about only 144,000 Jehovah's Witnesses are getting into heaven. And I just wonder, why do they keep coming to my door? What if I take your spot?
Nah.
Right?
Yeah.
But it was a good question because I was like, I don't think that's how it works, right? They're trying to get the new, like they're guaranteed. Like I'm just trying to get you in case their spot's open.
Yeah.
I think that's how you think, right?
Also, part of the application to get into heaven is spreading the word the best. You see what I'm saying? So whoever spreads the word the best and gets the more people behind them and their religion is probably going to be higher on the list to go to heaven, right?
Okay.
So it's I see what you're saying, sir. It's counterintuitive to your mission of getting into heaven. The more people you get involved, but the more people you get involved, the higher ranking you have of your God, right? Because now you spread the most word, so you are going to heaven.
Is it like a multi-level marketing?
Every religion is, yeah.
Kind of, right?
Every religion has a multi-level marketing aspect to it where they really press their followers hard to spread the word. Like of Christianity, like the whole thing was about going to different places and spreading the word of Christianity. Every religion has that. Like you're not a good, or you're not the best person in your religion unless you're actively promoting it.
Gotcha.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And then like
fishers of men, I believe they're referenced.
Yeah. And
Jesus was a fisher of men.
It's the whole business model of religion. It's like you need people to spread the word for it to live longer and be more successful.
Indeed. Yeah. Let's try this one.
So I was listening to the intro to the OG show, and I know Tom hates Rodney Dangerfield, but he probably said, if you ain't going to show us respect, probably 35 times. And the entire time he was saying that, I was just picturing Tom Dangerfield.
Ooh, that's hurtful. That's hurtful. Why do you hate Rodney Dangerfield?
Because he's a stupid old man.
No,
he's not funny at all.
Oh, that hurts my heart.
I hated Ladybugs. It's never made me laugh.
No, it's great. I love it.
His jokes never made me laugh.
Oh.
It's just stupid old man jokes, and he's it's same thing with Andrew Dice Clay. That's stupid too. Gallagher.
Oh.
I like Gallagher, but only because of his political beliefs.
Did we go to that?
We
went to it, and then he stormed out, didn't he?
No, he just started yelling at someone in the crowd. He's
like, you liberal POS. Yeah, we're like, get him. We were cheering for him. We're like, get him, Gallagher. And he's like, you liberal.
Where was that at? Was that
it was at
Hard
the Plaza?
Rock?
No, it was at the Plaza up here. And Gallagher went full conservative on him, and we were yelling, get him! And he's yelling, he's like, you liberals, you snowflake bastards. And we were like, get him.
It was a weird, we were like, wow.
I think we go late, and we stood in the back, and we were just catching the end of it, and we're like, this isn't good. Let's get out of here. Because we thought the place was going to get in trouble.
Well, we laughed at the fact that he's interweaving politics in his show about smashing watermelons.
Yeah, he did. It was highly political, and we're like, this isn't what we thought. We just wanted some good old watermelon fun.
But it's funnier to me that the guy that specialized in the dumbest form of humor, right?
He's like, infrastructure package. He's like smashing a watermelon.
Like, it made it funnier to me that, like,
I'm like, what the hell is this old man screaming about?
It would be like Blippy like telling me his thoughts on January 6th. You know, like, it's like, what are you talking about, Blippy? Like, that's right.
Blippy saves the country. And you go and you show up, he starts getting highly political. You're like, this isn't what we signed up for, Blip. Female chirping, where you at on that?
Hey guys, it's Gio. So, chirp debate. Hopefully you guys aren't tired of this already. Is there more male or female chirpers? I have recently come to the conclusion that my wife is a chirper. I'm definitely more of the mindset of just mind our own business, just talk amongst ourselves and leave everybody else alone. But my wife, sober or drinking, she will talk to everybody. A lot of times we'll go up to a bar, and if she sees somebody's drink that she likes, she'll have to...
This is claw hands. I was just doing a claw with my hands.
Oh, yeah.
I was being highly inappropriate. I was showing you with my hand that this is the man we call claw hands.
Say something about it or ask him about it. If she hears somebody at a restaurant or somewhere else go like, oh, you know what, I don't really know what to order, you know, they're kind of talking under their breath, she'll just kind of pipe up and be like, oh, well, actually, I've got a suggestion for you. If you like this, this, and this.
Oh, Andrea will do that. Like, we've been sitting at restaurants before, and I was like, I don't know. Everything looks so good. And Andrea will lean in and be like, you really should try the conch fritters. And I'm like, oh, my God, I've never wanted to divorce you more. I want to divorce you. Don't lean in and say you should try the conch fritters. Don't even lean in. What are you doing?
Yeah, don't suggest.
Don't suggest nothing. Or like, oh, my God, you should try the double chocolate cake. It's to die for. If you do any of that, I'm so mad at you.
Now, I've got something to admit. That's what I was looking for my phone so I can get a number, but I left my phone in
Go ahead. Okay. We own the show.
Well,
this is fine.
All right.
It's fine. Just run in there, grab your phone. It's fine. This will give me an opportunity to plug that we're live on Twitch right now, twitch.tv/Tom and Dan Live, or replays all on YouTube, Tom and Dan Live. You can just search for it.
I got someone to call.
No.
And
you want me to call them?
No, I'll let me see. I'll find the number here.
Oh no!
Sorry about this.
No, it's fine. I like this. This is super old school. We're doing it like this.
When my
you got plenty of time, buddy. We got nothing but 20 minutes here. Make yourself at home. You're one of the owners. Let's see. What else can I plug? Oh, there's new merch at TomandDan.com. Villain, we've been partnering with our good friends over at Villain Clothing Company. If you don't know who they are, local clothing company in the Satellite Beach area. Mark and his team are amazing, and they have a ton of cool clothing that they've actually been printing, doing some custom items for us like bags, dog leashes, license plate frames, different shirts, shorts, custom-made shorts, hats, and all of that you can find on TomandDan.com. I believe there's even a link for Villain on there as well.
Okay, so
How'd I do? That wasn't bad.
When Claw Hands brought up female chirping,
What line?
I believe line 1. It dawned on me that I have a chirper in my family, and I was born from a chirper.
Oh no, is this your mom?
And my mom's on the line. How you doing, Mom?
Okay.
So,
uh-oh, she knows something's up. She's like, I'm okay. I want to know what you're doing first.
So my mom is a chirper, and
that makes me like her more.
And
welcome to the show, fellow chirper. I too am a chirper.
And Mom, you listen to the show. You know what a chirper is, right?
Yes, I do.
So,
oh, she sounds so sad about it. See what you've done?
I'm not joking. My mom one time told me, she's like, you know, the worst part of this pandemic is I can't talk to the ladies at Publix anymore because we all have masks on, and the conversations don't last
You know
very
what?
long.
I too dislike a conversation with a mask at a Publix.
And my mom has told me before, and me and my sister make fun of her because we constantly say the employees at Walgreens or wherever the hell don't want to have long, drawn-out conversations with you. And my mom disagrees, and she says they enjoy the conversation. Just like you, Daniel, where you are convinced that all the employees love the conversation.
Me and your mom can brighten anybody's day.
So, Mom, you will talk to people, the employees at the grocery store, at CVS, all of it, right?
Yes, I do.
Now,
don't be ashamed of that. Don't make him be ashamed of something. You shine your light as bright as you want, Mama Van.
Now, how many times have you continued the conversation after the transaction while someone else is standing?
Oh, I do that. I do it as I'm leaving. I go, I'll get out of here. I'll leave you be.
That happens a lot with chirpers because I've seen Daniel do it, so I imagine you are standing next to the bag area at CVS, still talking to the lady as she's talking to you as she's trying to ring up the next customer.
Yes, I do. I wait for a certain lady that I really like at Publix, her and I become friends. Well, friends like at work, and she'll show me her kids, and she shows me her pictures.
Oh, lovely. That's lovely. You could benefit from some human interaction, sir.
Now, that's an advanced chirp move.
How did you lose all this compassion that your mom seems to have for humanity?
When you consider the person at CVS your friend now because you've chirped them so much.
That is a little sad.
Now you know their entire lives because...
But I feel the same way.
You're picking up tidbits of their entire life from the... 400 transactions
I bought some Sour Patch Kids at CVS yesterday, and the lady, because she's my friend, said, "You'll know the mystery flavor is on sale." That's what she said. That's what she said. Mystery flavor is on sale.
So, Mom, were you like this all your life? And I feel like I got some of what you do because of my
job, your
my
career.
job. I talk a lot, but I've never felt the need to talk and start conversations with employees at the grocery store or whatever, at the bank, long, drawn-out conversations that I start.
Well, you don't even like pleasantries if they're like, hey, it's Taco Tuesday, huh?
No.
You don't like any of that.
No, I do the pleasantries, and if someone asks me a question, I answer, and I'm nice. I'm polite to everybody. Too awkward to not be polite. But I'll never initiate.
You will only chirp our clients.
I'll never initiate. Yes. Well, the clients are going to give me money at the end.
Yeah, you're putting on a performance of it where you're like a hooker. You're a prostitute for our clients, but for Joe Average, you won't give any milk for free.
Well, what's in it for them? I assume that there's nothing in it for me or them.
You don't think for a second that there's any value if somebody's having a bad day for your loving mother to lift them up with a funny anecdote, a Florida story, something that she shared. You don't think there's any value in that.
Well, I've also lived with my mom for 18 years of my life.
You're in the clear.
And my mom would chirp me, which has also
I've seen her chirp you in the pool before.
But you know what it gave? It gave me the superpower of
turn off.
Turning my
full turn off.
turning my and ignoring everything.
It's called standby mode. Tom can go full standby mode.
Where I can just like tune out things, and I think my mom being a chirper gave me that superpower. It's like Unbreakable, Mr. Glass. Well, you need the opposite.
What's the opposite of a chirp?
Yeah. Me.
No, but I mean, we got to come up with a term for it.
She's given me the ability to ignore the chirp, which I use now, and oh my God.
Yeah, you use it there. Oh my God.
The only reason this all exists is because my mom chirped me so much that I can turn off my brain and not hear the chirping.
Instead of knowing Spanish, you're not bilingual. You just have a chirping thing.
In any other scenario, Daniel's chirping would drive the normal man crazy, and he'd quit along.
But you thrive in this scenario because you're built for it.
Yeah, because my mom has trained me through 18 years of chirping at me.
And also, it's good for me because it doesn't limit my chirping because you don't want to limit it.
No, I can just tune it out.
Just tune it out.
I tune out the chirping. Yeah. And then, so Daniel gets the...
I get the benefit of being chirp-free. You get the benefit of not hearing my chirps.
No, but I hear your chirps. They
don't register.
I'm able to not be bothered by the consistent chirping. Like my mom would just stand there talk.
Who chirps more, me or your mom?
My mom, advanced chirper. She's
good though. See, I've been in the pool with your mom, and when we get to talking, me and your mom can chop it up. We can chop up some conversation.
Oh yeah. But you're both chirping at each other and not listening to anything.
That's probably true. Yeah, that's probably true. I'm more concerned about getting my chirp in her ears, and she's more concerned about getting her chirp in my ears.
Yeah. You're just chirping crazy. Yeah. So, Mom, you've always done this. Is this something you learned to do?
No, I've always been a talker, and your dad was always very quiet, so I did most of the talking. He just was kind of a quiet person, but even your dad would turn me off because I would say stuff, and I go, "Oh, so you're going to do that for me?" And he'd go, "What? Wait, what?"
Oh
so I knew he tuned me out.
That's what you do here.
Yeah. Well, that's got me in a lot of trouble with my marriage, by the way.
That's
Thanks,
true.
Mom. Like, it's been beneficial here at work.
That's a bad trait.
And then horrible for my relationship.
Was Tom's father, did he ever start something? Like, was he ever talking about, like, maybe something with the boat and say, like, well, I got to go out there and maybe wrench and then stop dead sentence because another thought was more powerful and maybe push that one down?
No, I don't really remember that. He didn't. He didn't really, unless he had something to say. That's what he would talk about. But he did.
That's the Swiss holes of
CTE. That's horrible.
Yeah, like that's
probably right.
The pot just goes down
and through the toilet hole. It tries.
That's why I was so excited when you had to tow me out in Brooksville because you didn't have a phone or anything. You just had me behind you, and I was able to talk.
Forgot about that. Yeah.
Oh wait, you talked to. Oh, this is the best.
So I borrowed a 4-wheeler from Bracken, our buddy Bracken.
Yeah, I love Bracken.
And he's got a big old, I call him the brick S-House 4-wheeler. It's like the big square with the racks. I call him the deer hunter.
The grandpa's, You put a body on the front of it.
Got a big old deer hunter, right? But they're smooth. They ride like a Cadillac, right?
What's the front for? Well, obviously for a Yeti cooler full of beer.
Yeah.
I mean...
And then, so to be able to ride with me and Crystal, my sister, and my niece and the boys, my mom had to ride on the back of the big brick deer hunter.
You?
With me. Right?
Oh, you didn't want to tell this story. Thank you, Mama Van, for being so honest.
I forgot. And then my mom did literally...
Oh, light you up.
Just
fresh chirp straight from the source, right in the ears. Oh man, that's as fresh as a chirp gets.
Yeah. Through 2 helmets, so you had loud chirp.
That's a fresh Florida squeeze chirp right there, buddy.
As I just rode down a trail, as my mom chirped me crazy.
How many podcasts do you think are out here?
Everything just.
Telling me theories about.
Look at that bird. Oh, look at that. Oh, smell that. Oh, look at that. Go faster.
Some 2020 thing she saw last Friday.
Chris Hansen's back. He's back. He's got a new ghillie suit.
Some things she she watched the update on the Blood Lady. She loves telling me about that. She
And don't get me started on Pizzagate. There's more.
She'll just I describe it like you're opening a faucet and just chirping falls out like water. And that's what my mom will do with
fresh.
She doesn't even need acknowledgement that I'm listening. Hello.
Well, she's advanced.
Like,
when you're advanced, you just open the faucet and the gold falls out.
Like when Daniel's chirping me, I'll give him a, yeah.
Well, I'm still an adolescent chirper in most respects.
My mom needs zero acknowledgement or confirmation that I'm even listening.
She's like Babe Ruth. Every chirp she calls it, that one's over the fence. Every chirp is a home run.
She's chirping and gets the same satisfaction whether I'm listening or not. So, yeah, that happened the entire time we're riding a four-wheeler.
You deserve that, and I'm glad that happened.
You know what was sad is I thought my grandkids, I said, I've got new people to tell stories to. And we got around the campfire, and I was all excited about telling a story I heard on a podcast. And I said to the boys, I said, you want me to tell you a story? And they both said, no, thank you.
They're so polite, too. They're like,
no, thank you. We're just sitting here quietly. No chirping allowed. Daddy hates it.
Well, yeah, they're
not chirpers at all.
By the way, they'll say no thank you to basically everything. They're not interested.
How you guys doing over there? No thank you.
They are not passionate about anything. They got that from me. Zero passion in life. That's what I pass down to my sons.
Oh my God, I cry.
And you'll never like nothing. Good luck with that. Good luck with life.
Someday, years from now, that they won't have the same experience as you, because is your wife, Crystal, a chirper? When they're on the big brick four-wheeler, the Deer Hunter, and they got their mom on the back, is their mom going to be chirping through their helmet?
She's not a chirper. She want to have the random conversations with, and she gets mad if the boys don't listen. That's different from my mom. My mom, throughout my entire childhood, would be telling me something, and then I've been walking around, I'm watching TV, watching Darkwing Duck, eating bagel bites. By the way, as Muffy would go and steal my bagel bites one at a time, and I'd have I wouldn't even notice.
Why is that so funny to me that you told? This is a true story, guys. Tom has told me before that he would cook bagel bites and then have to cook them a second time because he didn't realize the snack got consumed by the dog.
Oh, I wouldn't cook them. My mom would cook. I didn't know how to do nothing. I never learned how to cook. Nothing. My mom was cooking me Mama Celeste pizzas at 17 and a half years old. my papa fought in World War II at 17.
That's so great.
I wouldn't even cook my own Mama Celeste pizzas.
I know. Your papa, I remember, because I made you breakfast, made sure you had breakfast every morning before you left for school. You were in high school when I was still making you breakfast every morning. And Papa goes, you make that boy breakfast? He doesn't make his own? I go, what? No, he doesn't make his own. He doesn't get up early enough.
He'd have to get up at 7 o'clock to eat that breakfast.
Not only make me breakfast, but this is what
bring it to your room, right? I never had that, dude.
Every single morning. This is, I guess it's embarrassing, but also
I don't think my mom loved me because I honestly did. It makes me feel bad. Like, my parents are dead, so I can say this, but I don't feel loved because my mom, I wasn't allowed to have food in my effing room.
Every morning I'd wake up, I slept on a futon on the floor because I broke the frame wrestling with the wizard.
So that sounds like fun.
I would wake up every morning for school and I'd roll over and on a paper plate would be an egg sandwich with cheese, mayonnaise, ketchup, on white bread.
Oh, yummy breakfast.
And then she'd tuck a paper towel over it and fold it underneath so it wouldn't get stale over the time it took me to wake up because she'd put it there.
That's literally like the redneck Ritz-Carlton. I mean, that is awesome, dude. My mom would make me no damn sandwich.
Every GD day of my life. I have no day off.
You're a saint, Mama Van, and we love you.
Now, why would you do that, Mom?
Well, I was very concerned that you had a good breakfast going to school because everyone said you have to eat in order to think and get through, your studies. And I don't know, it just stuck with me. Plus, I got up early and, I used to do it for your dad for years before
That's called the Andrea. That's called the Andrea.
Well, that is I don't get that.
That's the Andrea. That's a little different. I have that. We're all different. We're more like that. We all different. But we're still different.
Egg sandwich that I woke up to from my old lady. So now were you at all concerned that these actions were going to make me super weak, like I turned out to be?
No.
All right.
I just knew you had a nutritious breakfast and you went to school to learn. And in fact, I worried about you in college because I thought, oh, he's not going to have breakfast in the morning before he goes to his classes. But you made a lot of your classes later in the day, so I said, oh,
that's weird. Why would he make his classes later in the day?
I do cook an egg sandwich for Tommy every morning.
I was going to say, no, I thought you did both. Max is out of the egg sandwich?
No, he gets a fried egg. He doesn't like an egg sandwich. He likes fried egg.
But you're
pancakes.
Still doing the Maryland van, right? Like you're doing the mama van. You're doing the full-on double egg sandwich.
Fried egg sandwich for Tommy, pancakes and eggs and fruit for Max, and the whole giant thing.
We are a cereal family.
What did you make me for lunch when I was in middle school, Mom? Because I remember, like, every once in a while I would get a hot dog and tinfoil.
Yes.
Well, different sandwiches. Luckily, you ate, sandwich meat, hams and turkeys and different sandwiches. But I always made sure you had chips and a dessert and a drink. And sometimes you would buy, but most of the time I made, your lunch. I still make Becca's lunch every day because she's a picky eater, so I know what to pack, so I know she'll eat.
Maisie's a picky eater, too, but every day for lunch, she has one small Corona Asalito and beef nachos. Every day. School beef nachos and an Asalito. No, seriously, she does beef nachos like every day. But you can't just live off of beef nachos. Her favorite food is burritos. All she eats is burritos. That's it. The only food she'll eat, burritos. That's it. She's a friggin' truck driver.
My sons won't refuse to buy their lunch. I'm like, buy it. There's pizza day today. No.
Yeah, Pizza Ripper Day is a good one. They get pizza rippers and they get beef nachos. They get a Santa Fe wrap.
All right, Mom. Sorry to call you in the middle of the day.
No. I was just, what I learned on the trip, though, of Thanksgiving is that when I was riding on the back with you, it's been a long time since I've been on the back of a bike because I always just had my own to ride. But, when your dad and I first met, I used to ride on the back of his. And within like 6 months, he bought me one, and now I could probably see why. I probably was
chirp to zero. Is there anything?
And you could thank your son for that great memory or revelation. It's sad. That's sad.
No. Who wants their old lady chirping their ear off on the back of a motorcycle?
Me too. I'm kind of glad she don't want to ride motorcycles anymore. She would always say, like, over there's the place with the best boiled peanuts. I'm like, I don't care.
It's like those people that have the microphones
built into the head. I cut that thing right off.
You're insane. All right, Mom, I'll talk to you later.
Okay, love you, honey.
Bye.
Love you too.
See ya.
Bye.
Your mom's so sweet. Yeah.
I just think it made me weak. Just
chirping?
No. The egg sandwich every day.
Well, you're doing it. I mean, you got to pull back on the egg sandwiches.
Well, no, making them weak too. But now I can't stop doing it because
what would they have if you didn't? When you're in a rush, they don't have egg sandwich, or do you? No matter what, you're like, oh, the house is burning down.
Well, in a rush, like this morning, we were late. They made them pancakes. Like microwave pancakes.
I'm not kidding you when I tell you, and I'm not saying this to say I'm saying this to show you how bad of a dad I am. Maisie does not eat anything handmade for that is not a breakfast. Breakfast in our household, you're getting something processed in a wrapper.
Well, that's why she's she'll be the CEO of a corporation.
No, she'll die soon because I'm feeding her crap. You're at least giving your boys a real like Juan's talking about. He makes his son a small curd egg omelet every morning. I'm like, I'm doing it wrong. My daughter...
what me and Juan are doing is insane.
My daughter runs downstairs. She gets a jumbo family size, the trash people box of Apple Jacks, pours it everywhere. It's all over the floor, in her bowl. Then she slops some milk in there. She eats that, and she's like, I want something else. I make her some bacon. She's like 20 pieces of bacon, an asalito, and out the door.
Well, she's Maisie, I'm telling you. She's ready to be an adult. She could live in an apartment by herself.
She's close to that.
I mean, yeah, my sons are, they're going to be like me where they just graduate from mom to wife that you call your mom.
I like that. That's a way to live.
All right, bye-bye.